on roads. For those that do, we make some of the cleanest gasoline on the planet, and every drop is performance guaranteed. And our employees contribute over 200,000 hours a year in our communities. We know you probably don't think about these things when you think of Valero. That's okay, just as long as when you do think of us, you think of this. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
You've always loved the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquos Liquid Crystal Television from Sharp.
Chicago Tribune Live, weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
From Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, Comcast Sportsnet brings you Chicago Cubs baseball. And tonight, the Cubs open up a 6-game NL Central swing here in the Gateway City. 3 here and then 3 in Cincinnati over the weekend. One of the great rivalries in sports renews tonight, the Cubs and the Cardinals in Game 1. Welcome to Cubs baseball tonight. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. We're back. Derek Lee is back. Good to have him back in the lineup.
Oh, no question about it. Derek Lee, before serving his 5-game suspension, was on one of his hottest streaks of the season, including the home run ball. He hit a couple of home runs. The numbers on the season ranks 3rd in the National League in batting average, but the power numbers were starting to show up. Good to see D. Lee back in the lineup.
The Cubs, by the way, went 3-2 during his 5-game suspension. The ace is on the mound. It'll be Carlos Zambrano tonight, and he's rolling along.
Yeah, last time out, Carlos had a scare early in the ball game. A comebacker off the bat, and Dave Roberts hit him on the throwing hand. He knocked it down, threw him out at first base. Cubs built up a big 10-run lead in this ball game, and fortunately, Lou was able to get Carlos out after only 80 pitches. That's only the 4th time in 21 starts this year Carlos has thrown under 100 pitches. The only concern you have is he might be a little too strong tonight.
So it'll be Carlos Zambrano against Kip Wells. You have a guy with 12 wins versus a guy with 12 losses.
Kip Wells coming off his best outing of the season. By far, he has been very, very inconsistent for the Cardinals this year.
So big series starts tonight. This is a huge week as well for the Cardinals. 3 against the Cubs and then 4 against the NL Central leading Brewers coming up this weekend. The Cubs would like to put the Cardinals out of reach here in the Central. Carlos Zambrano tonight going up against the Cardinals. He's been very good against them. 5-0 over his last 8 starts. We'll have Cubs baseball coming up next.
Plan your next corporate or social function in one of Wrigley Field's private party accommodations. Wrigley Field offers a variety of private catered opportunities to host and impress your group. The Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments, has 4 convenient rental plans to fit all budgets and needs. For larger parties of 75 to 100, the Batter's Eye Lounge, located in the center field Bud Light bleachers, provides a unique view of the game. All private party accommodations provide generous food and beverage packages as well as VIP parking. Call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hotter than a collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
Lucky you. Your local True Value has everything you need to take care of life's little surprises, and you'll get in and out fast. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Replace it, repair it, restore it, enjoy it at K&K True Value Hardware, 18th and Grant Street in Bettendorf.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our Comcast Sportsnet studio. First pitch just minutes away between the Cubs and Cardinals in St. Louis.
But first, let's get you caught up on the White Sox and Tigers, who are playing a doubleheader today on the south side of Chicago. We had a game for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet this afternoon as the Sox look to end their 4-game skid. Bottom 5, tied at 2. Josh Fields taking Jeremy Bonderman deep and gone. His second jack in as many games. Sox take a 3-2 lead on Fields 7. Top of 6th. Same score, UIC product Curtis Granderson. He gets a hold of one. Singing solo off of Vasquez, ties the game at 3. Bottom 6, 1 on for Paulie Walnuts. The pitch. Line shot just clears the fence. 2-run homers, 22nd. Gives the White Sox a 5-3 lead. That would be all the help Vasquez would need. Top of the 8th inning. Javier facing Brandon Inge. Inge struck out 3 times in this game. Then against Granderson, he goes down as well. 8 Ks over 8 frames for Vasquez as the Sox win Game 1. The day-night double dip, 5-3 the final.
And speaking of high heat, Kerry Wood begins his minor league rehab assignment with the Class A Peoria Chiefs tonight. Wood is expected to pitch 1 inning of relief with Henry Blanco behind the plate. Wood was clocked at 95 on the radar gun just last week, pitching for the Cubs rookie league team down in Arizona. And coming up tonight on Sports Night, we'll have a complete recap of Wood's outing down on the farm. Mitch Robinson is on hand. He'll talk with the veteran righty, find out how he's doing in his rehab, when he might be able to rejoin the Cubs bullpen. But stay tuned, it's almost game time. Cubs and Cardinals coming up next here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Cubs postgame live will follow that game with Gail Fisher and Dan Plezak. Mark and I will follow that with Land Rover Sports on a busy night here in Chicago. Coming up, Len and Bob have the first pitch. Enjoy the game, everybody.
We know you like style. We know you like performance. We thought you'd like fuel economy as well. With the Pontiac G6, you get the same highway fuel economy as Camry, with even more power. The new Pontiac, designed for action.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, get into a 2007 G6 sedan starting at $16,895. Hurry, inventory limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
To my darling wife, I leave my stock portfolio. To my daughter, Susan, I leave my yacht. And to my son, Jack, I leave my garage.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Must be a Danley.
Now you can own a Danley and get $1,000 off any size Danley garage. Just call 773 Garages right now and get $1,000 off the custom-built Danley of your choice.
It's my Danley. Danley's Garage World. Danley.
Depend on Danley.
The energy for our fuel comes from oil in the ground. A lot of it comes from our people, who year in and year out put so much of their energy into everything they do. So you can be sure that when you put Valero gas into your tank, you're going to get a lot out of it. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
Free installation at Feldco can save you hundreds, even thousands. Call now.
Call 866-4FEL. DCO.
It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year. Feldco is offering free installation. Save thousands on replacement windows with no interest or payments till next year. Call for a free estimate and free installation.
Hurry, this offer ends July 31st.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4Feldco.
Car and Driver named the Infiniti G Sedan to its 10 best list for 2007. It went on to choose the Infiniti M as the winner of its luxury comparison test 2 years in a row. But judge for yourself. Visit the Infiniti Limited Engagement Summer Event before it ends July 31st and receive 0.9% APR financing on select Infiniti vehicles.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Chevy. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Your local area Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Rico, how well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and The Pursuit. And by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit Southwest.com.
Cubs and Cardinals here from St. Louis. First of 3 all-night games, and then the Cubs will head to Cincinnati for the weekend. Wouldn't say it's cool. Temperatures in the 80s today, but it's cool for St. Louis in late July. We'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Normally the conditions this time of year are unbearable here in St. Louis, close to the river, and the humidity usually climbs up in the 80s or 90s, but a very comfortable evening for baseball, at least tonight.
So the Cubs are 3-2 versus St. Louis this year. 2-0 in this ballpark. Last time they were here was late April, and that series was shortened due to the tragic death of Cardinal reliever Josh Hancock on April 29th. That game was postponed that night. Will be made up as part of a day-night doubleheader in mid-September. Let's check in on Lou Pinella's Southwest Cubs starting lineup. Alfonso Soriano leads it off. Ryan Theriot, the shortstop. Derek Lee, after his 5-game suspension, back in there. Aramis Ramirez at third. Cliff Lloyd in right. It's DeRosa at second. Jones in center. And Jason Kendall catching Carlos Zambrano for the first time.
Take a look at the Cardinals defensively. Chris Duncan in left. Jim Edmonds in center. Skip Schumacher over in right field. Scott Rowland at third base. Aaron Miles at short. Adam Kennedy at second base. The big guy, Albert Pujols, over at first base. Yadier Molina doing the catching tonight for the right-hander Kip Wells. Mentioned Wells has struggled this year with the 12 losses, tied for the major league lead in losses. ERA just under 6. Talking to some of the Cardinal people, it's just been a case of poor pitch location consistently. Leaves a lot of pitches up in the zone. Fast curve, slider, change. He throws all 4, but he's left a lot of pitches up around the belt this season.
Well, the Cubs made another roster move today. They now have a backup shortstop on the bench. It had been Mark DeRosa after the trade of Cesar Izturis to the Pittsburgh Pirates, but Ronnie Cedeno, Bob, was leading the Pacific Coast League, batting .360. So he's back in the big leagues, and left-handed hitting infielder Scott Moore is sent back to Iowa.
And I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Ronnie Cedeno get a start at least once, maybe a couple times on this road trip. Ryan Theriot has done an outstanding job at shortstop, but Lou is very cautious about grinding Ryan down. He's not a very big guy. He's a high-energy player. You got to make sure he gets rest from time to time.
So Theriot is in the lineup batting second. We'll probably see Ronnie get a start or 2 on this trip. And we are underway. A fastball for a strike from Kip Wells to Alfonso Soriano. Fonzie had a kind of a quiet homestand at the plate. He hit just .214. The Cubs won 7 and lost 3, including dropping the final 2 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2 strikes. 82 degrees at game time tonight.
And wind, no factor whatsoever here at Busch Stadium. Flags out in left center field, hanging straight down. The ones on top of the scoreboard in right field barely moving.
Fly ball out toward left field, shallow. It's Duncan coming in, and it'll be the shortstop Aaron Miles to put away the first out. So humidity not a factor. A very pleasant night here in St. Louis.
A late arriving crowd here. You never know it at Busch Stadium. Whoever thought of painting all the seats in this ballpark red was a genius, because even on a night like this when the crowd is late arriving, you look out there, you see the red seats, you see all the people wearing red. It looks full. But upon further examination, a lot of empty seats.
Ryan Theriot grounds out to the shortstop Miles. So 2 quick outs for Kip Wells. And here comes number 25. Good to see him back in the lineup.
Can Derek come out and play? I was teasing him down in the clubhouse before the ball game. He said that's what it felt like when he'd been grounded by his parents and finally allowed to go back out and play with the guys.
And he was working on a 7-game hitting streak when he started to serve his suspension after dropping his appeal. He swings at the first pitch. Schumacher comes in, makes a catch, and that's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Kip Wells. The Cardinals come to bat against Carlos Zambrano when we come back to St. Louis.
Introducing the Cadillac Summer Event. Right now at your Cadillac dealer, you can experience the best Cadillac has to offer and 0% APR financing across all models. The best part about summer? It's here.
Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Shining is showing someone the way. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we want to help you live a healthy life. By providing wellness programs and initiatives, we keep you focused on staying well and living well. Because we believe sharing a commitment to a healthy way of living can inspire someone for life.
Lean on me.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through.
I wanted to add something new to our relationship, but I was afraid to bring it up. Then a close friend turned us on to KiaMatch.com, and in just minutes, we found the perfect companion for both of us.
The Kia Sportage. I felt so safe.
And with 28 miles per gallon, we could just go forever.
Find your match at KiaMatch.com or visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Kia retailers.
Well, I mentioned what a big week this is for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. Right now, they're 8 games out. And in third place, 5 back of the Cubs for second. But they play the 2 teams ahead of them, 7 games this week. Let's check in on their Southwest starting lineup. Adam Kennedy will lead it off. You've got a bunch of lefties in their lineup against the sinker baller Zambrano. Skip Schumacher's been terrific this month. Albert Pujols with 6 home runs after the break. Chris Duncan also hot. Jim Edmonds in center. Scott Rowland in third. Aaron Miles is shortstop. Yadier Molina behind the plate. And Kip Wells bats ninth.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively. Brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Soriano, Jones, and Floyd across the outfield. Ramirez and Terrio on the left side. DeRosa and Derek Lee on the right side. Jason Kendall doing the catching tonight. The first time he's caught for Carlos Zambrano.
Trying to become the first 13-game winner in the National League.
You saw those numbers at the bottom. Left-handers hitting about 130 points higher than right-handed batters. That's why Tony La Russa got as many lefties in the lineup as he could tonight.
The 2-0 pitch, a swing and a miss, 2 balls and a strike on Adam Kennedy. The next pitch, fastball missed, 3-1. Well, actually, the board here has 2-2. And fouled back.
I'll tell you how times change, Len. Back in the day when I was still an active player, if you came into St. Louis to play the Cardinals, you better make sure your catchers had a lot of rest going into that series, because it was going to turn into a track meet at some point. The Cardinals coming into play tonight, next to the last in the majors in stolen bases. Toronto Blue Jays have the fewest with 27. The Cardinals have 28. When Scott Rowland is leading your team in stolen bases with 5, you know you're not a running team.
Full count. Kennedy. He smacks it in the air. It's Jock Jones coming in. He makes a catch. In the who's hot category, you have to know coming in who the hot hitters are, and the Cubs are certainly well aware of these 3 guys.
Schumacher kind of coming in under the radar. Certainly you know about Albert Pujols. Chris Duncan has put together a pretty good sophomore season after bursting into the big leagues last year in a big way. There's no question when you play the Cardinals, you keep an eye out for number 5. Just like when the Cubs finished that series with the Giants, you're always counting ahead. Wondering when Barry's going to come up again. You have to do the same thing when you play the Cardinals and try to retire the guys ahead of him.
2-bouncer, and it's Mark DeRosa to throw over to first.
And this is exactly what you want. Albert Pujols at the plate with nobody on base.
And even if Pujols was the coldest hitter in their lineup, he would still be the guy you have to watch out for.
I asked their hitting coach Hal McRae around the cage during batting practice, is he one of the best hitters you've ever seen? And he said he's one of the 5 best hitters I've ever seen, and the other 4 are in the Hall of Fame. So pretty high praise from his hitting coach.
I think that tells you where Albert Pujols ultimately will end up. Off the plate, ball 1. He's 9 for 41 with 3 home runs against Carlos. Hit foul to the right, out of play. Finds the second of 4 decks here at New Busch Stadium. Now, they've hit for a lot of power since the break. Just 11th, however, in the National League in runs.
Another really surprising statistic about this Cardinals ball club. I talked about the stolen bases earlier. They're 3rd from the last in the National League in team fielding. They made 72 errors on the season. Very uncharacteristic for a Tony La Russa ball club.
And this will be a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Big Z. Same result as Kip Wells to the second, 0-0.
A shift has been made. Now power isn't sacrificed to achieve fuel efficiency. And cars that perform great on the road also perform great at the pump. Introducing the 36-mile-per-gallon Nissan Versa, 36-mile-per-gallon Sentra, 35-mile-per-gallon Altima. 3 powerful Nissan sedans with 35 miles per gallon or higher. Lease the 2007 Nissan Altima for $229 per month. Now, when you think power and fuel efficiency, think Nissan.
Free installation at Feldco can save you hundreds, even thousands. Call now.
Call 866-4FEL. DCO.
It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year. Feldco is offering free installation. Save thousands on replacement windows with no interest or payments till next year. Call for a free estimate and free installation.
Hurry, this offer ends July 31st.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4Feldco.
What it wants. Always ask for Pennzoil. Get a 5-quart jug of Pennzoil high mileage vehicle motor oil at Walmart for only $12.22.
Thursday, Derek Lee and the Cubs are primed for victory when they square off with Albert Pujols and the rival Cardinals, followed by Cubs Postgame Live. Cubs Cardinals available in widescreen format Thursday at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Hey everyone, I'm Chuck Garfine. Wednesday on Chicago Tribune Live, we'll get you set for the Sox and Tigers from the South Side and have the latest Cubs news as they take on the rival Cardinals. All that and more Wednesday at 5:30.
And here we go in the second inning as Aramis Ramirez takes a breaking ball inside, ball 1. You look at some of the guys in the lineup. In fact, the 3 due up in this inning. Tells you a lot about what the Cubs did the last 2 games. Both losses. They were shut out on Sunday versus Arizona. Ramirez 0 for 8. Cliff Floyd 0 for his last 7. And Mark DeRosa 0 for his last 9. Fouled that ball off his foot. Cubs already have a guy in their lineup, Jock Jones, who's ailing a little bit after fouling a ball off the top of his right foot on Sunday. When Aramis needs a second, let's see where it got him.
And you'll notice an interested observer over there in the stairway to the dugout as he fouls that ball high off his ankle. Mark DeRosa figures to be the guy to move over to third base if necessary. And hopefully Ramirez will be able to continue on this ball game.
Thought that was a classy thing for Yadier Molina to do. He went out to talk to his pitcher and give Ramirez an extra second. And that one almost hit him. 2-1. He had to have quick feet, but right now his feet don't feel very good.
Dogs are barking.
Bounced foul. That one kicks up into the stands. Boy, and hard hit foul balls, a huge topic of conversation, not only in the major leagues, but in the minor leagues as well. After the tragic news of former big leaguer Mike Coolbaugh, in fact, a former Cardinal, and was the first base coach with AA Tulsa, as Ramirez grounds it into center for a leadoff single. Coolbaugh was killed as he took a shot off his head in a game a couple of days ago. They had a moment of silence before the game, and I didn't know Mike very well, Bob, but I was in Milwaukee covering the Brewers when he made his big league debut in his 12th pro season. Was just a great guy and just an awful story. And we talked to Mike Quade and Matt Sinatro before the game. One of the topics now around baseball is, will there be a push to have base coaches wear helmets or the protective plastic lining under the soft caps, which I guess Glenn Hoffman of the Padres already does wear, and Tim Flannery, the third base coach for the Giants, says he's going to wear. And talking with Mike and Matt, at this point it doesn't sound as if they're going to go with the protective padding, and I think they would both keep an open mind to it. But obviously right now that is not deemed mandatory. Vince Scully, the Hall of Fame broadcaster, has been a proponent for helmets for base coaches for decades. He's been talking about it for a long, long time. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Hit foul past Quade. And the most vulnerable spot is with a runner at second for the third base coach, because they usually move toward the plate to get a good angle on the runner. Right now, Quade is as far away from home plate as you'll see a base coach, but that changes quite a bit when you get a runner at second base.
And every coach approaches his job a little differently. We'll watch in this ball game today, Dave McKay, the first base coach for the Cardinals, at times will have his back turned to home plate. When the first baseman is playing behind the runner at first, he will angle himself so he can really concentrate on that first baseman and whether he's sneaking in behind the runner or not. And in a lot of instances, he's caught with his back turned toward home plate, which obviously would really cut down on your reaction time should the ball be hitting that direction. Matt Sinatro tries to get himself into a position where he can use his peripheral vision to see the first baseman as well as see the action at home plate.
Yeah, Matt Sinatro's in his first year in the big leagues as a first base coach, a former bullpen coach, and he says he definitely keeps an eye on the hitter as well as the runner. And I'm sure even more so now. Boy, just a complete tragedy. Mike Coolbaugh was only 35 years old. He and his wife Amanda with 2 kids, and she's expecting their 3rd child. Kennedy will get the out at second base. The relay is going to be laid, and Cliff beats it out for fielder's choice. So 1 out in the inning. And here comes Mark DeRosa.
Looked like Kennedy very nearly lost his footing out there at second base. Hard hit ground ball to his left off the bat of Cliff Floyd, and right there he kind of lost his footing and then skidded again when he tried to plant. That really hung out Aaron Miles out there at second base. All he could do was get the force play and try to throw off balance to complete the double play, but not in time. Talk a lot about rhythm in this game, and that's one of the plays where it really comes into play. That shortstop approaching the bag at second, expecting the ball to get there at a certain time, and when it doesn't, completely throws off the rhythm of the play.
1 ball, no strikes on DeRosa. Here's a pitch. Drifts inside, and a hitter's count now for Mark. 2-0. Cardinals have had all kinds of problems in their starting rotation this year. And the latest bad news, Chris Carpenter today had Tommy John surgery. So he's done for the rest of the year. Chris Carpenter pitched on opening day, and that was it. So his second elbow surgery, and he'll miss a good chunk of 2008. Inside corner strike.
And we talked about how important this upcoming stretch of games are for the Cardinals, especially with Carpenter going on the shelf for the remainder of this season and possibly most of next season. I think with Carpenter coming back into the rotation and ideally at some point in the future Mark Mulder coming back into the rotation, the Cardinals still felt like they were within striking distance. However, if they have a poor stretch over this homestand, wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Cardinals become sellers at the trade deadline. They've really had a patched up pitching staff this year. They've tried to mix and match. Former Cub Todd Wellemeyer getting 8 starts for this ball club. Just been able to find that combination to sustain any kind of run to get back in the race up until this point.
2-2 on DeRosa. Floyd the runner at first. 1 out. We're in the second inning. The kick and the pitch a little bit inside 93 in that heater from Kip Wells. Full count. We'll see if Cliff Floyd will be on the move. And you go back to the rotation last year, Carpenter, Suppan, Mulder, Marquis, Jeff Weaver for part of the year, Anthony Reyes, Sidney Ponson. Not one is in the current rotation. Floyd runs and it's fouled back. Had a little fun in the clubhouse. Cliff Floyd and Mark DeRosa, we mentioned, very good bowlers. And by the way, a great turnout to Kerry Wood's Strike Zone Celebrity Bowling Tournament. It raised over $300,000 for Project 3000 on Sunday, and Cliff Floyd officially had the top game. He bowled a .216 contest and was the first Turkey Prize winner. He rolled 3 consecutive strikes, but I guess after they had bowled several games, Mark DeRosa challenged him and beat him. Nice stop on the slide by Kennedy. He'll get an out at first as Floyd was on the move. And Cliff said, you know, after I bowled 4 games, my hand hurt. I didn't have my personal ball. And so he said next time Mark won't be so fortunate. So he was the official winner, but Mark DeRosa was very happy that he was able to beat Cliff Floyd in a personal one-on-one confrontation.
And I'm sure fans are dying to find out how much the autographed urinal fetched in the auction. $11,000.
Wow.
Dinner with Lou Piniella, $8,000. Oh, thanks to all the fans and all the people who came out and supported that great charity. Had a wonderful evening, I'm sure. 11 grand. Wow.
You were the high bidder, weren't you? You're just not going to admit it.
I don't want to admit it, yeah.
Where are you going to put it?
I've always wanted a used urinal. Well, our apartment just went from a 1-bathroom to a 1.5 bathroom. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, where do you put that thing? You don't just stick it in the front hall, do you? Jock Jones rips that ball into right center. Schumacher up with it. Took a little extra time, and it allows Cliff to score easily. So it's 1-0. Jock Jones hitting .417 here at Busch Stadium, and that average going up.
Well, I'm not sure the reason for the delay by Schumacher out there in right field. Jock Jones hits a bullet right at him in right field. Maybe a few steps to his right. He gets to it in good shape. Cliff Floyd with 2 outs in the inning is off on contact. No hesitation whatsoever from Mike Quaddy at third base. Cubs want to get on the board first, but Schumacher extremely deliberate out there in right field. Caught the ball, took several crow hops, finally decided to unload it to home plate way too late. And sometimes on a slow hit ball, you can understand why a right fielder might hesitate to throw the ball home, but that was a bullet. Looked like he was confused as to where to go with the ball. Did the Cubs a huge favor right there.
So a big 2-out knock by Jock Jones, and Jason Kendall at the plate. Looking at a strike. Former battery mate of Kip Wells with the Pirates. Bounce to third is charged by Scott Rowland, who will throw him out. Another big hit by Jock Jones, who's coming off a big homestand, and the Cubs have the early lead after an inning and a half. It's 1-0.
Announcing the Lincoln Summer Drive Sales Event. Drive off with the best values of the year on our best models ever, including the Lincoln MKZ. Now with 0% limited term APR financing during the Summer Drive Sales Event at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Yeah, you know the spot.
Right away, sir.
Welcome to Giordano's. Your table's ready.
Thank you.
How's everything?
Fantastic.
What's your secret?
It's the fresh ingredients, and it's been so for the last 30 years.
We made it good. You made it famous.
Who's counting on your brakes today?
We'll be home soon.
Your brakes are too important to trust to just anyone. So come to Midas, where lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. For brakes, oil changes, tires, and more. Be safe.
Trust the Midas touch.
Announcing the Mercury Summer Drive Sales Event. Drive off with the best savings of the year on our best lineup ever, including the 2007 Mercury Milan, now just $199 a month during the Summer Drive Sales Event. Only at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
Pledge your allegiance to the Cubs by becoming a founding member of the Cubs Club, the new official online fan club for the Chicago Cubs. Cubs Club members will receive benefits unavailable to other fans, including your very own 2007 membership card, MLB.com's game day audio for the 2007 regular season, and much more. To join today, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. So here's Chris Duncan. One strike on him. 19 home runs on the year. His father, Dave, yesterday on the off day went to Kansas City, where the Yankees were. Dave's other son and Chris's brother, Shelly, recently made his big league debut with the Yankees. And both Duncans hit a home run on Saturday. Shelly then added 2 on Sunday. So a couple of power hitters in the family. Hitting .413 this month.
Mentioned Duncan with 19 home runs this year. He hit 22 last year. He already has more RBI, however, this year than he did all season last year. Finished with 43 RBIs on 22 home runs. He's already got 55 this year. As he goes down on strikes, the first punch out for Carlos Zambrano tonight.
And number 118 on the year for Carlos. Now Jim Edmonds, who came off the disabled list last week. Lower back and some leg issues, missed 27 games. Jim Edmonds' on base percentage, a paltry .302. He's slugging just .382. .93 on the Heat, a little bit outside. Zambrano 1-1 in this ballpark in 5 starts with a stellar 0.70 earned run average. We mentioned his last 8 starts against the Cardinals. He's 5-0. And right now, including the 4 outs he's recorded tonight, 17 consecutive scoreless innings. Did not give up a run his last 2 starts. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Larry Poncino calling balls and strikes tonight.
Good off-the-body sinker from Carlos Zambrano. One thing to keep an eye on in this ballgame tonight, and I mentioned it a moment ago, it's the first time Jason Kendall has caught Carlos Zambrano in a game. He's warmed him up in the bullpen on his side sessions. He warmed him up before the game tonight. But see how these two work together. So far, so good. Kendall really moving on the corners for Zambrano early, which is an indication that he's got good command tonight. When Carlos scuffles with his command a little bit, that's when Lou and Larry Rothschild want the catcher to set up right down the middle of the plate.
Now Scott Rowland, who's been bothered by some inflammation and tightness in his surgically repaired left shoulder, had a cortisone shot last week. Missed 4 games, came back on Sunday, hit a 3-run homer in the 10th in Atlanta. That was some insurance after Skip Schumacher hit a 2-run blast. Cardinals won that game 7-2 to complete a 5-5 trip. Now 3-1. He might need a little work on that right shoe. Straightaway center for Jock Jones. And that's out number 3. 2 in the books from St. Louis. Cubs 1, Cardinals nothing.
Believe it or not, I struggled with car buying issues until my friend showed me this book. Every page is filled with helpful car advice. It helped me get a great deal on the highest safety-rated minivan ever built, the Kia Sedona, with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty program. Because the more you know, the less you don't know.
Now with 2.9% APR plus 500 bonus cash plus 1,000 competitive bonus.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
When the subject is trucks, you gotta know how to work it. Quad City Spring is all over that. When you need organizing systems for pickups and vans, and Adrian Steel custom setups are your mandatory upgrades, Quad City Spring gets the call. Ladder racks, toolboxes, towing, and truck accessories, we've got you covered. When the subject is trucks, Quad City Spring knows how you want to get it done. Got a truck? Work it, baby. Quad City Spring, 34th Street and River Drive, Moline.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
Chicago Sports News Nightly on Land Rover Sports Night. Coming up tonight after Cubs postgame live, Mitch Robinson is in Peoria to report on Kerry Wood's rehab outing. Plus a recap of this game tonight, the Cubs and the Cardinals. Join Mark and Pat for Land Rover Sports Night tonight after Cubs postgame live, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Carlos Zambrano takes ball 1. A switch-hitting pitcher hitting .250 on the year with 2 home runs and a double. Wells coming back on a 1-0. That one is sliced foul and out of play. You know, the other thing, talking about base coaches and line shots, we talk a lot about broken bats. Very dangerous. Jason Marquis got hit by a broken bat. Part of it hit him in the face a couple of weeks ago. So you start to worry about pitchers a little bit. Will we get to the point where pitchers will be asked to wear protection under their cap? And I think one of the biggest concerns for Major League Baseball also is going to be fans. With these smaller ballparks, we see foul balls go screaming into the seats on an everyday basis. So when you come to the ballpark, we hope you get the best seats in the house, but you make sure you watch the game carefully. And Zambrano swings and misses, one out.
Yeah, the players on the field, the players and coaches, this is what they do for a living. They're around flying baseballs and bats on a daily basis. I think they react to it a lot better than, you know, some guy sitting in the stands that's had a belly full of beer and a lap full of nachos, and all of a sudden he looks up and sees a bat coming his direction. And the reaction time is probably not going to be the same as you see from the players in uniform. So fan safety is the biggest issue for me.
That's a nice play by Aaron Miles, showing a lot of range as he throws out Soriano. Miles in there tonight. David Eckstein on the bench against Zambrano.
Miles ranging far to his left up the middle of the field. That off balance throw in the dirt to Pujols. He digs it out cleanly.
And here's Ryan Theriot with 2 outs and nobody on.
Miles filling in for David Eckstein tonight. The two of them have each made 11 errors this season. And both playing the shortstop position, although Miles will play second base from time to time.
Guess who Ryan Theriot came to the ballpark with today? I'll give you one guess.
I would have to guess the other Cajun, but
you would be right. They are together constantly. Ryan Theriot and Mike Fontenot. I saw both. I said, you guys know each other? Dribbled foul near the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Theriot. Fontenot on the bench to start the game today, with Mark DeRosa playing second. So you have Fontenot from the left side on the bench. Fox, Cedeno on the right, and Hill and Pagan the switch hitters. Buried in the dirt, 2-2 the count. Kip Wells is 30 years old, 6'3", 205 pounds. Trying to avoid becoming the Major League's first 13-game loser, as Zambrano tries to become the National League's first 13-game winner. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. That'll be it for the Cubs in the third. Bottom 3 coming up. Cubs 1, Cardinals nothing.
Got an old buddy waiting for a visit in Washington? Fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to Baltimore, Washington, or Washington Dulles International for just $79 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
At Dell, we believe the 25 million small businesses in America deserve something more. So we're introducing Dell Vostro, customized systems, services, and expertise designed just for small business. PCs with no trialware, just the software you want. And they can be powered by Intel Core 2 Duo processors to keep you up and running fast. Plus the reassurance of Dell's new 30-day worry-free guarantee. New Dell Vostro, proof that we believe in small business.
Cordially invited to the event from Lexus. The summer sales event where you'll find unexpected values on the Lexus you've always wanted. But like summer, it won't last forever. The event, now through September 4th. See your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
When the Cubs game is over, stay tuned for Cubs postgame live on Comcast Sportsnet. All the interviews and press conferences, in-depth game highlights, and Dan Plesac breaks down all the action. Cubs postgame live after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Pull out your disco shirts and platform shoes. The Cubs take on the Phillies on Tuesday, July 31st at 7:05. Come celebrate 70s night with the legendary Barry Williams, best known as Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch. 70s night is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fans dressed in the best 70s outfits will receive airline tickets, compliments of Southwest Airlines. Well, a change for the Cubs. Ronnie Cedeno's in to play short, and Ryan Theriot moves over to second base, so Mark DeRosa's out. Not quite sure what happened.
We'll let you know when we know. Speculating that DeRosa was going to be the guy to possibly fill in for Ramirez after he fouled that ball off his left ankle, but DeRosa's the guy that leaves the ball game.
Two and two on Aaron Miles. And he finds the gap. Jock Jones is going to have to run it down, but it goes all the way to the wall, and Aaron Miles is thinking two. Might have thought briefly about three, but a good job by Jones to get it back to the infield in time. That's a leadoff double for Aaron Miles.
Zambrano frustrated with the location of that pitch. Sinker that just kind of stayed up and out over the plate for Aaron Miles. He hooked it back to the gap in right center. And I was really kind of surprised Miles held up at second base. He took one quick peek to third base coach Jose Oquendo. And with nobody out, don't want to get that first out thrown out at third base, so Oquendo threw up the stop sign and Miles stayed right there at second.
So when we get a report on Mark DeRosa, we'll certainly pass it along to you. Molina hitting eighth. One home run on the year. It came against the Cubs back in April. Here's the pitch by Zambrano. That one lays foul off the facing of the sweet level.
Molina has as many home runs this season as the guy in the on-deck circle, Kip Wells. Had a pretty good season so far swinging the bat. Cardinals pitcher Kip Wells hitting .273 with a home run this season.
Big chopper out front of the plate, and Theriot will have time to throw out Molina, but he moves Miles into scoring position with one out.
Batting ninth, number 21, pitcher Kip Wells.
Now the pitcher Kip Wells, who does a pretty good job at the plate. That home run earlier this year is fourth of his career, and a career 187 batter. The Cubs are going to bring the infield in.
Well, we should point it out. Tony La Russa likes that squeeze play. Usually it's the element of surprise that makes it work. And with a pitcher at the plate trailing by one run in the ballgame, the element of surprise really isn't there right now. I'm sure it's in the back of Lou Piniella's mind. He's keeping a close eye on Tony over in that first base dugout. Keeping a close eye on Jose Oquendo down in that third base coach's box. Watching the runner, watching the hitter, seeing if anybody will tip anything to give you that red flag that perhaps the squeeze play is on.
Hit foul, 2 strikes.
And I mentioned Kip Wells has been swinging the bat pretty well this year. 9 for 33 coming into play tonight. A career 190 hitter.
Z trying to put him away. That's high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Milwaukee lost in extras last night in Cincinnati, so the Cubs were able to pick up a half game, 3 out. In the Central, just 2 back in the loss column. The Cubs with 2 games in hand, but tonight the Brewers leading in the bottom of the 6th, 4-0. Slider low and outside. A lot of Cub fans here in St. Louis. The crowd is mostly red, but a little blue sprinkled in each section.
Now, some of those empty seats I spoke about back in the top half of the first inning have filled in nicely. Almost a full house here tonight.
3-2. Well, they did a nice job painting the seats red, so even if the seat is empty, it still looks like a Cardinal fan. The sequence began 0-2, but it's now 3-2. Here's the next pitch, and Wells chased on the check swing. He went around too far, 2 down. That's a big second out for Zambrano, and now have to face Adam Kennedy.
Wells chasing a pitch shoulder high. Tried to check a swing at the last instant, got way too far out in front of home plate. Another huge favor that the Cardinals have done the Cubs here already tonight.
Broke his bat, and it's just fouled past first base. Well, that ball had a lot of English on it and barely went foul. Adam Kennedy with just 2 home runs. They both have come since the All-Star break.
You know, Len, for me, Adam Kennedy is one of those rare guys, a left-handed hitter who, in my opinion, is a better high ball hitter than low ball hitter. He really handles that pitch up and out over the plate well. Carlos tries to go to that location just a little bit higher than Kennedy can handle right there, but he laid off. That's one thing. You read an advanced scouting report and you read that a guy is a high ball hitter. You either attack him down low in the strike zone or you attack him higher than he can handle. A lot of hitters have trouble laying off that high pitch if they are high ball hitters.
Zambrano has a sign from Kendall. The 2-1. Off to right. Cliff Floyd is there. Pops the mitt, makes a catch. And the Cardinals strand Aaron Miles after the leadoff double at third base. Scoreless streak continues for Big Z. 1-0.
So yeah, my Corolla gets a 41 miles per gallon rating. Plus I got it with $500 cash back. You know, for a Toyota. Honestly, I expected to pay a lot more. So I donated the extra money to saving the whales. And pandas.
Wow. Hey.
Hey.
Scott, right?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Well, see you at the fundraiser.
Yes, you will.
Toyota. A great way to keep moving forward.
StubHub! Where should we sit?
Right at first base.
Wait, how about along the third baseline?
Wow, this is great. Just like having season tickets.
Looking for great seats? Buy tickets from other fans. Have extra tickets? Sell them to other fans. Go to StubHub.com today for tickets to the hottest sports, concert, and theater events, even if they're sold out. Peanuts. Hey, there's still tickets right behind home plate. Let's go for it. StubHub, your choice, your ticket, your experience. StubHub!
Always ask for Pennzoil. Get a 5-quart jug of Pennzoil high mileage vehicle motor oil at Walmart for only $12.22.
Coming up tonight on Land Rover Sports Night, we'll have clubhouse reaction from St. Louis and hear from Kerry Wood after his rehab outing in Peoria. Plus, Peanut Tillman signs a contract extension with the Bears. It's all after Cubs post-game live.
Time now for our Aflac trivia question. This is a good one tonight. I mean, they're all good. This is a great one. How many active managers have won division titles in both leagues? That's active managers. Now, wait a minute. I'm speechless. A Cardinal and a Cub jersey on? Have we seen such a thing before? Broken bat grounder is fair over the third base bag, and Roland Fields who throws out Derek Lee. I don't know about that. A Cardinal and the matching set. What is wrong with the world?
Well, at least the little girl's got it right. At least she has one team on her shirt. The wrong team, but it's only one.
Cardinals and what was it? Chicago.
Those people are going to get beat up no matter what crowd they run with, you know. You just can't do that. You just can't.
Did one of them have a White Sox cap on? That would just complete it, I guess. Okay. 1-0 on Ramirez. Big swing off the end of the bat straight back. And it's 1-1. Well, the popular TV show before the game was Kip Wells' last start in the Cubs clubhouse, and a lot of the Cubs hitters were riveted. As poorly as he has pitched this year, coming off a terrific start. Rainbow into center. Ho hum for Jim Edmonds. 2 outs. 8 shutout innings, allowing just 2 hits. And that followed a disastrous start at Philadelphia. 1 inning, 8 hits, 6 runs, 4 were earned.
Kip Wells is one of those pitchers that he makes baseball people scratch their heads. He's got such great stuff. And he's well under 500 in his major league career. Now, granted, he spent a lot of that time pitching in Pittsburgh, you know, some sub 500 ball clubs, but with the kind of stuff that Kip Wells has, I think everybody thought he was going to be a perennial 20-game winner.
Well, when the year started, he was their number 2 starter behind only Chris Carpenter. So certainly his year indicative of how rough a year it has been for St. Louis. Cardinals coming in 5 games under 500. But it is important to note, while they are 8 games back, they're only 6 behind Milwaukee in the loss column, and they have 4 games in hand, which means they have some extra games where, you know, if they win all 4 of those games, they could make up 2 full games in the standings regardless of what Milwaukee does. That's why this is a huge week for them, playing the 2 teams ahead of them. A 1-1 pitch to Floyd. That one just missed. 2 balls and a strike. Cliff bounced into a fielder's choice in the second, and would later come around to score on the Jock Jones RBI single. Ronnie Cedeno on deck. He came in the 3rd inning. Mark DeRosa taken out.
Cliff Floyd with a swing right there, almost like we saw from Kip Wells striking out against Carlos Zambrano. Kind of a half-hearted attempt to check a swing on a pitch up out of the strike zone.
The 2-2. Now it's full 3-2. So Cliff bowled a 216. Have you ever bowled a 216 game?
Not in one game, in a series. That's pretty impressive. He probably wasn't impressed whatsoever by the 216.
No. Well, he didn't have his ball. He had to use a rented ball. A slicing liner, and Chris Duncan barely had to move. 7 straight sent down by Wells since the RBI hit from Jock Jones. 1-0.
Hey, boss. Do we have Aflac?
Yeah, we have something else.
But if you're hurt and miss work, does it pay cash like Aflac does?
Nah.
Or let you spend it any way you want, like for gas and groceries?
Nah.
Or help with everyday bills like Aflac does?
Nah.
There's only one Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Nice try, boss.
Aflac.
We love baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Stolen bases, go cheese pizza, bottled water, and Chevrolet. They go together in the good old USA. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Get a 2007 Chevy Cobalt LS sedan starting at $13,640 after cash back. That's an 07 Cobalt sedan LS starting at $13,640 after cash back.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The Simpsons movie, rated PG-13 for irreverent humor throughout. Friday only in theaters.
With every step, it gets better. Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered 4 times for smoother flavor.
Let's get the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
How many active skippers have won a division title in the American and National Leagues? Well, there are 4 of them. And 2 are managing tonight. Tony La Russa with the White Sox, A's, and Cardinals. And Lou Piniella with the Reds and the Mariners. That's half of them. There's Skip Schumacher. It's a ground ball to second base. He's thrown out by Ryan Theriot. And the other 2 are Bobby Cox with the Blue Jays and Braves, and Joe Torre with the Cardinals and Yankees. You know, most questions like that, you could pretty much throw in Bobby Cox and Tony La Russa, since they have accomplished so much, and Lou Piniella not far behind. And for the second time, as you said, Carlos facing Albert Pujols in the situation you want. Nobody on base. Swing and a miss by Pujols.
And you know what that will lead you to do as well, Len. When you face Pujols with nobody on base, you may pitch him completely different than you would if he were up to the plate with runners in scoring position. You can kind of establish what you're going to do with him.
There's a deep drive by Pujols. Floyd, however, has just enough room right near the 375 sign to haul it in. 2 outs. Well, he just missed it, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He has tremendous power to all fields. But just to finish that thought, when you face him with nobody on base, Carlos is probably going to be a little more aggressive, maybe challenge him inside a little bit more. But I have to believe if you see Albert Pujols come to the plate late in a close ball game with an opportunity to either give the Cardinals a tie or a lead, you'll see Carlos pitch him completely different. Probably try to stay away, keep the ball down low, out of the strike zone.
Duncan struck out swinging his first time. Another ball bounced off a batter's foot. By the way, in a trivia question, Joe Torre winning the division, it was with Atlanta in 1982. He managed the Cardinals from 1990 to 95. The best showing was a second place finish in 1991. Solid base hit. Their second, as Duncan keeps the 4th inning alive for Jim Edmonds.
Just a little soft line drive into center field. Looked like Duncan might have gotten jammed just a little bit with that ball, but finds grass out in front of Jock Jones for a 2-out base hit for the Cardinals. That's amazing how much better Joe Torre got as a manager when he went to New York, huh?
Yeah, all of a sudden He got really good. Finished 4th with the Cardinals in '95 and then won the World Series with the Yankees in '96.
Well, Joe Torre, Bobby Cox, Lou Piniella, and Tony La Russa are just littered all over the leaderboards for managers, career numbers, postseason appearances, you name it.
How about this for you? Joe Torre has been the manager of the Yankees since 1996. He's finished 2nd once. Every other year, the Yankees have won the division. So they're not out of it.
You know who doesn't care about that stuff?
George.
Big George. I want to see the trophy. Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2000.
Popped out of the mid of Kendall, but not far enough to allow Duncan to at least attempt to advance a base. And it's 3-1 on Edmonds. Well, Zambrano has worked behind a few hitters, but to this point, no walks. But he is facing a patient hitter in Jim Edmonds. And there's the first pre-pass issued by Zambrano. And they'll have to face Scott Rowland with 2 men on. The second time the Cardinals have put a runner in scoring position. One strike on Scott Rowland. Well, speaking of Tony La Russa, his contract expires at the end of the 2007 season. And there is no guarantee that he'll be back for 2008. I think what is just about guaranteed is that if he wants to manage in 2008, he'll probably find somebody who will want him. Cardinals won the World Series last year after winning just 83 in the regular season. The pitch. 2-1.
Talking to Scott Rowland before the ball game today about the World Championship season, and he said he didn't think the team that they had last year was nearly as good as the team they had the 2 previous years. This goes to show you in this game of baseball, if you just get to the playoffs, doesn't matter what you've done during the regular season, you get hot at the right time of the year, ride a couple of strong starting pitchers, and come up with some timely offense. You can take what on paper appeared to be a very mediocre year for the Cardinals and turn it into a World Championship season.
Rowland turns on it and hits it foul. Well, the 83 wins, the fewest ever in the regular season for a World Series champion, and the fewest wins for the Cardinals since '99. When they went 75 and 86 and finished 4th. Now, Lou Piniella can tell you about regular season wins. In '01, his Mariners won 116, and they didn't even get to the World Series. Runners go, and the bases are loaded. It's a single and 2 walks. Zambrano not happy. And then he faces Aaron Miles, but before that, he's going to get a visit from his pitching coach. So they'll chat about things with 3 on and 2 outs. Fans recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Join thousands of others in the commemorative paver program and make your mark on the grounds of Wrigley Field. All orders come with a replica brick for your home or office. Space is limited, so order today. For complete details, visit Cubs.com or call 1-800-851-6846.
Back-to-back walks for Carlos to get to another very patient hitter.
And we have the update on Mark DeRosa. Left hamstring tendonitis. It is not strained, but they are calling it left hamstring tendonitis. So that's why he had to be taken out in the third inning. 1-1 on Aaron Miles.
Well, you saw that slight delay by Jason Kendall before throwing the ball back to Zambrano. That was a pitch that might have been barely out of the strike zone down. I think Carlos and Jason wanted that pitch.
Here comes the next one. Fouled back. Cubs got their run in the second inning on a Jock Jones 2-out RBI single. Two and two. I'm guessing Kendall's going with the first sign. I know he put down a 1 and then flashed about 8 other signs in 2 seconds. And Carlos ended up throwing a fastball.
Definitely want to make something happen on this pitch right here.
No, the fastball again, so it was not the first sign that time, as Kendall put down a 2.
Well, you definitely don't want to go to a full count with 2 outs and the bases loaded. All the runners will be in motion. Possibility to clear the bases with a well-placed single. You want to make something happen on this 2-2 pitch right here.
Carlos has a sign from Jason Kendall. Here's a pitch. Fly ball right center. Jones coming over. He's calling for it. He has it. And the inning is over. St. Louis strands 3. And it's still 1-0 Cubs after 4.
How much are you willing to pay for happiness? At KiaMatch.com, we can help you find a life partner through our compatibility program. It's so easy. It's got everyone talking.
They matched me with a great deal on the fuel-efficient Kia Spectra, complete with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty program, and we've never been happier.
How lucky is that guy? So log on to KiaMatch.com and start getting happy.
Find your match at KiaMatch.com or visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Kia retailers.
If you need to tow it, Quad City Spring has it. Quad City Spring is the area's suspension, spring, truck accessory, and towing experts. From goosenecks and fifth wheels to every kind of hitch imaginable, including Blue Ox base plates and tow bars, strong as an ox. And Quad City Spring installs and services everything they sell. So tow it right. Get your ride to Quad City Spring. Quad City Spring, 34th Street at River Drive in Moline.
DC, Daytona. With 2 great friends, 3 great bikes. Awesome. I started on the C90. Can't wait to get it out on the open road.
S83. Fantastic.
The M109R is as bad as you want it to be. Power is incredible. This bike brings cruising to a whole new level.
Hi, I'm John Brenny. Come check out all the new Suzukis at Brenny Cycle Works in East Moline.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Midas. Visit Midas for brakes, expert auto maintenance, and tires. And by the all-new full-size 2007 Toyota Tundra.
very intense Carlos Zambrano walking off the mound and lost his cap. And he slammed it on his glove. Went back, picked it up, and headed into the dugout. So the Cardinals left him loaded. And Ronnie Cedeno will get his first at bat in his second stint in the big leagues here in 2007. He went down and was terrific at AAA Iowa, and he got the call up today as Scott Moore was sent out. And he hits a fly ball on the first pitch to right for Skip Schumacher, who gathers it in. 1 out. You know, Ronnie was leading the Pacific Coast League in batting average. His on-base percentage was .424, and he was slugging .543 and 247 at bats. So he was hitting .360 at AAA.
Pretty strong numbers, and we know from past experience with Ronnie Cedeno, one of the bad habits he got into last year was being overly aggressive at the plate. Hopefully we haven't seen the first signs of that with that at bat right there. Hacked at the first pitch he saw and hit that lazy fly ball to right field.
Well, we don't know if the Mark DeRosa hamstring tendonitis will keep him out of any more action after tonight. But the Cubs may have to rely on Ronnie a little bit more than they thought here on this trip.
A very well-timed roster move today, losing Mark DeRosa, at least for the ball game tonight. As you said, we don't know how serious it is, but they do have another middle infielder up here now rather than a corner infielder, which will come in handy if DeRosa's out any amount of time.
Jock went 10 for 30 with a double, 3 walks, 6 RBIs, and 3 runs on the just completed homestand, and starting the road trip with an RBI hit tonight in the second inning. Wells with a 1-2 pitch. Blocked by Molina, 2-2.
Well, you could see Molina before Wells went into his delivery, pounding his catcher's mitt on the ground. He wanted that curveball down in the dirt, and Wells obliged. He wants that ball down low. Boy, when a catcher asks for a pitch in the dirt and then blocks it as solidly as Molina just did, that has to really help the pitcher's confidence to execute that pitch again if he has to.
With Wells getting another start tonight, left-hander Mike Maroth is available in the Cardinal pen as Jock walks with 1 out. Sounds like Maroth's going to start again this weekend against Milwaukee, and the Cardinals also are going to bring back Anthony Reyes because they need an extra starter with the day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Reyes is 0-10. Man on, 1 out. Jason Kendall with a slightly open stance. Takes it low, ball 1.
Glenn, in the past we've talked about the hit and run play and how some managers use it as a defensive tool to stay out of the double play. Other managers use it as an aggressive offensive tool to try to go first to third, have runners at the corners. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lou try something here with Jason Kendall. He's really struggled in the early going here with the Cubs. Only 1 base hit. I'm sure it really pains Jason to look up to that scoreboard and see his batting average at .083 coming into play tonight in the National League. And sometimes a hit and run play is all it takes to get a hitter started. It eliminates any doubt. You're definitely going to swing at this next pitch if the hit and run's on. And for a guy who is struggling, it'll open up some holes defensively in the infield, and possibly he can find one of those holes. Of course, the downside is you've got Carlos Zambrano in the on-deck circle. Now, granted, Carlos swings the bat much better than most pitchers, but a lot of managers don't like the idea of setting up an inning for the number 9 hitter. Personally, I like it. I think it's an aggressive offensive tool.
Well, a good count for the hitter here. 2 balls, no strikes. Jones not running. Kendall bounces it to third again. Good play on the short hop. Rowland gets the out at second, and that's it. Good hard slide at second by Jock Jones. 2 outs in the inning. Kendall gets a fielder's choice.
Rolls over a low pitch. It's a top spin ground ball. That Rowland makes a nice play on a tough second hop right there. JJ all over Kennedy at second base, making it tough for him to complete that relay. Go in hard, go in late. We saw Jock didn't even really hit the ground until about a foot in front of second base, went on over the bag and made contact with the second baseman.
One strike on Zambrano. Struck out. It was of the swinging variety in the third. Pause before the next pitch. Struck well up the middle. Comebacker base hit. Kendall stops at second. 2 on with 2 down. And back to the top, and Soriano. That's just the third hit for the Cubs. They've all been singles.
When Carlos picks that ball right off the ground, Molina was going down into a blocking position. He thought that slider was going to end up in the dirt, but Carlos didn't allow it to get to the dirt. Golfed it right off his shoe tops into center field for a clean base hit. Well, good time to get hot, Fonzie.
First and second for Alfonso. 1-0 Cubs. Way out front of the plate. And I'll tell you what, Molina was out of his crouch before that ball even got close to the plate. He saw it immediately.
And unlike most pitches that he's blocked in the dirt in this ball game, he kind of stayed up high. He sees that ball's going to hit way out in front of home plate, so he doesn't get as low as he normally would on a ball that's right in front of him. That ball was well out in front of home plate. He knew it was going to take a high bounce, so he stayed up high behind the plate and was still able to square it up right in the middle of his chest protector.
Pop foul to the right.
You know, and I was very skeptical at the time when the Cardinals cut ties with Mike Matheny and turned the job over to Yadier Molina. They insisted that he was going to be as good, if not better, defensively than Mike Matheny, and they proved to be right. This guy is as good as they come behind the dish, not only receiving, blocking balls in the dirt. He's thrown out 54% of the runners attempting to steal on him this year. Since 2004, he leads the major leagues in pickoffs from the catcher position. He's solid.
Back of second. Who wants it? The second baseman, Adam Kennedy, out to make the grab, and that ends the inning. The Cubs lead 2. We are halfway home from Busch Stadium. Cubs and the Cardinals with the Cubs on top, 1-0.
You want to dance? What you got?
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from conveniently located Chicago Midway to Long Island for just $39 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Through the commemorative paver program, you can join thousands of fans in celebrating the day you became a Cubs fan, declared your loyalty, or preserved your favorite Cubs moment. If you're a Cubs fan, how can you pass up this opportunity to become part of Wrigley Field? Each order includes a replica paver for your home or office and makes a perfect gift. So to purchase, visit Cubs.com or call today. Space is limited, so order now.
One half-ton pickup has the best warranty of any other, the best fuel economy of any other, not to mention the highest possible front crash test rating. Makes you wonder why you'd want any other truck. The all-new redesigned GMC Sierra.
It's the GMC Summer Sell-Down on a great selection of 07 models. Right now, get 0% APR or $2,000 total cash back when you purchase an all-new 07 Sierra 1500 Extended or Crew Cab. For more information, visit gmcdrive.com.
Time now for a GMC Sports Update.
Welcome into our Comcast Sportsnet studios. I'm Gail Fisher. We'll get you back out to St. Louis in just a moment. But first, some news from around the majors. Astros second baseman Craig Biggio announced today that this season will be his last. The Astros legend has spent his entire 20-year career with the club. He collected hit number 3,000 last month against Colorado. The Killer Bees no longer in Houston. Time now to send it back to St. Louis with Len and Bob. Guys.
Gail, thank you. And a big road trip starting here early. Every trip's going to be big for the Cubs the rest of the way. And they lead the Cardinals 1-0. Carlos Zambrano just continues to roll along. He hasn't allowed a run now in his last 3 starts.
He's really pitched well. He's a little frustrated with himself after that last inning. He walked a couple of batters but was able to escape damage. Really like to see the offense give him a little bit of breathing room, though. These one-run leads, they make me nervous.
I don't think Carlos is nervous right now. Came in having not allowed a run his last 15 2/3, 4 scoreless tonight. So one more out and he'll run it to 20.
I think Carlos is a little frustrated with the strike zone by Larry Poncino tonight behind the plate. He hasn't really blown a gasket yet, but there have been a lot of borderline pitches that have not gone his way. To his credit, he has been channeling that frustration, getting back up on the rubber and executing quality pitches after those borderline pitches that don't go his way.
Molina to be followed by Wells and then Kennedy. 3-1. And again, he works from behind. Surrendered 2 walks in the 4th inning, but they did not come back to haunt him. Molina skies it down along the right field line. Floyd at first didn't know where it was. Derek Lee is over, makes a nice catch. Right beyond the tarp, reaches out and makes the grab. I think Cliff's saying, I didn't know where it was. Derek says, don't worry about it, I got it.
Boy, a long run for Derek Lee. It's hard to believe how far he was away from where he started when he finally made this catch right over in front of the bleachers. He was on a dead sprint to where he thought the ball was going to come down. You saw him check the stands a couple of times to see where he was and then makes a nice running catch. He had a long way to go to get to that one.
Yeah, the strikes to balls ratio nowhere near where Carlos would like to see it. You hate to see it around 1-1. Base hit for Kip Wells, so both pitchers with a base hit tonight. That's their 3rd hit.
It's a fastball right in the middle of the plate, middle of the thighs. Solid contact by Wells, finds that hole back up the middle of the field.
In the dirt.
This is one of those little subtleties of the game, and once again, this is just my opinion, but I think Derek Lee should be playing right behind Kip Wells at first base, right on his hip. Where Kip Wells knows that Derek Lee's standing right behind him, but it would give D. Lee a little bit of a head start to get into a better defensive position with a left-handed pull hitter at the plate.
Runner was going as Kennedy rolls over and fouls it away on the ground. So the Cardinals trying to make some things happen on the bases, trailing 1-0. By the way, we'll get you the update after Kerry Wood is finished, but scheduled for an inning tonight with Single-A Peoria. And a familiar face behind the plate, Henry Blanco catching for the Chiefs. He's on a rehab assignment as well. Good to see the Gherkin family here tonight from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, cheering on the Cubs. Also, congratulations to Jamie and Kevin Flagg on the birth of their son, Jack. 8 pounds, 2 ounces. Jack was born today. Kevin does a great job. One of the great camera operators at Wrigley Field. Congratulations. Ramirez giving it a look. And he reaches over, and it's going to be called no play, out of play, as a fan also went after that ball.
If the fan reaches over onto the field to play and interferes with Aramis Ramirez's opportunity to catch that ball, Gary Darling probably calls the batter out here, but you can see Ramirez is way over into the second row of the stands there trying to make that catch, and when a fan makes contact, it deflects away from Aramis's glove. But Gary Darling right on top of the play, says that ball was over the railing. No play.
And it looked like a couple of Cardinal fans were trying to get that ball. I don't know about you. I'm very thankful it wasn't a Cub fan. Oof. 2-2 the count. 1 out. Kip Wells at first base. Cubs leading 1-0 in the 5th. Here's a pitch. That's a base hit through the hole. Derek Lee couldn't get over to get it. Wells on his way to third. The throw by Floyd's going to be late, and that allows Kennedy to go to second base. So the double play is not in order. Second and third with only 1 out. And you can't walk Schumacher because Albert Pujols is right behind him.
Sinker on the outside part of the plate. That's that limited range I talked about with Derek Lee holding the pitcher on first base. Wasn't able to react to that ground ball, and probably an ill-advised throw by Cliff Floyd. Even though it's the pitcher going first to third, you have to be very sure that you can throw that guy out at third base. You want to keep that double play in order at all times.
Ramirez in, everybody else back, and that was a high fastball out of the zone. Schumacher couldn't find it. He was trying to lift that ball into the outfield, but the heat was too hot. Carlos from the stretch. Good block by Kendall. 1-1.
Carlos with either a split or a changeup that hit about a foot out in front of home plate, and Jason Kendall makes like Yadier Molina and squares it up right in the middle of the chest protector.
Has a sign from his catcher, and the next pitch. We'll see if he can set him up here and strike him out. Pujols lurking on deck.
Carlos can strike out Schumacher. I think Albert Pujols will see his 15th intentional walk of the season.
That'll get it done. In fact, it's going to give the Cardinals the lead. Wells is in. Kennedy not far behind him. Schumacher trying for a triple. The relay throw is going to be way late. And it's 2-1. First triple of the year for Schumacher. And just like that, the Cubs are trailing for the first time.
Sinker up and out over the plate. A nice approach by Schumacher. Stayed right on that ball. His head was right down the barrel of the bat and perfectly splits that gap in left center field. Plays right in front of him. No need to even look at the coach on that play. You can tell what's happening out there with the cutoff and the relay. And Schumacher decided to go to third and made it easily.
His first career triple, and it's a big one. Lou Piniella out to chat with Zambrano. 3 straight hits for the Cardinals here in the 5th inning. Well, you have to pitch to him in that spot. And Carlos got ahead of him 1-2, but he couldn't put him away. And the reason he just didn't give him first base is because Pujols on deck now at the plate. And the infield has to come in, which you hate to do against Pujols, but the Cubs don't have a lot of choices right now. They don't want to give up that 3rd run. Popped him up. Terrio now backpedaling. He has it. Schumacher has to hold it 3rd. So Pujols now 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, I'm not sure why Schumacher wasn't tagging up at 3rd base. The outfield was playing extremely deep, which you would expect with Albert Pujols at the plate. It looked like Akendo told him to go halfway. I mean, if one of the outfielders catches the ball coming in, you have no chance to score on that ball. Even if you go halfway, they're going to be running toward home plate and pick up that ball just 150 feet from home plate. If Terrio catches the ball going out, you have an opportunity to tag and possibly score. I mean, if you tag up and the ball drops, you're going to score easily.
Fouled off. Yeah, that's a good point. You're essentially saying there's no downside on that pop fly to standing on 3rd base. Because as you said, even if Terrio doesn't make the catch, you're still going to score.
And if one of the outfielders makes the catch coming in with all his momentum going toward home plate, you're not going to score anyway, even if you're halfway. And we say halfway, but actually it's probably more like a quarter of the way down the line, maybe a 1/3 of the way, depending on the depth of the fly ball.
One and 2 on Duncan. Scoreless streak now over. He ran it to 20 innings before Skip Schumacher tripled home 2. The next offering is away on a sinker. Edmonds would hit next. Carlos has shaken off Jason Kendall about 5 times.
That's something that will come with more experience. As Jason Kendall catches Carlos Zambrano more often, he'll know which pitches he likes to go to in certain situations to certain types of hitters. I'll tell you one thing, the Cubs defensively feel that Duncan's going to hit the ball to the opposite field in the air. Alfonso Soriano is probably about 10 steps closer to the left field line than he normally would be. Jock Jones in center field is shaded over into the gap in left center.
Well, it looked like Carlos simply said slider. That's what it was. Didn't cover his mouth either, because I could read his lips. Didn't matter, as Duncan didn't know, and it was a beauty. Well, the Cubs trail for the first time. It'll be 2, 3, and 4, starting with Ryan Terrio in the 6th.
Prepare yourself. The 3 Series is here. With elegant styling and a powerful yet fuel-efficient inline 6-cylinder engine. Stop in and take a test drive today. Lease a BMW 328i for $339 a month until July 31st.
I am your idea. Color me. Get me noticed. Make me shout. and stand out. Give me Rico color that always works. I am your idea. Make me brighter. Make me shine. I am your idea. Get me in there. Make it happen. In flying colors. It's you and me, and here we go. With Rico.
We know you like style. We know you like performance. We thought you'd like fuel economy as well. With the Pontiac G6, you get the same highway fuel economy as Camry, with even more power. The new Pontiac, designed for action.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, get into a 2007 G6 sedan starting at $16,895. Hurry, inventory limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
Coming up tonight on Land Rover Sports Night, we'll have clubhouse reaction from St. Louis and hear from Kerry Wood after his rehab outing in Peoria.
Plus, Peanut Tillman signs a contract extension with the Bears. It's all after Cubs postgame live.
Next Wednesday, August 1st, the Cubs take on the Phillies at 7:05. The first 20,000 fans will receive a scratch and win card, and 500 random winners will get a Rawlings official baseball autographed by Aramis Ramirez. Compliments of Kimberly Clark. For complete rules, visit Cubs.com. First time tonight, the Cubs had trailed. They're down 2-1. By the way, tickets are still available to select games at Wrigley Field here down the stretch. I think some people are assuming that no tickets are available because of the huge crowds on the last homestand. That is not the case, especially for September night games. Tickets are still available. Swing and a miss by Terrio. Well, this is what I saw, and I think he just said slider when Kendall came out. Watch right here. Slider.
Sure looked like it. You know, Curt Schilling was notorious for doing that, especially after the batter fouled the ball out of play. Inevitably, everybody looks to see where the foul ball goes, and Curt made sure his catcher looked at him instead of watching the foul ball as that one gets through into center field. Should be a base hit for Ryan Terrio. And everybody in the ballpark, including both dugouts, would look to see where the foul ball went, and Curt would just look in at the catcher and tell him what he wanted to throw. Fastball. Split.
It is a base hit, as you said, so good start. As the Cubs have put the leadoff man on for the second time. The other time was the Ramirez single in the second. So here's D. Lee back from the 5-game suspension. And 0 for 2 on the night. That drifts inside. Ball 1. Andrew Cieslak sending our Coors Light cold blast to the booth tonight. He's from Wicker Park and wanted a Kerry Wood update. Well, here you go. Kerry with 1 inning tonight for Single A Peoria. And it was against the Fort Wayne Wizards. He faced 4 hitters through 12 pitches, 11 fastballs. The stadium gun had him between 91 and 94 on his heater. He walked 1, did not strike out anybody, didn't give up any hits. So a fairly clean 4th inning for Kerry Wood. And assuming he feels good tomorrow, he'll go back-to-back on Thursday and Friday. And that will be big, because he absolutely has to go back-to-back before he's even close to coming back to the big leagues. Meanwhile, 2-0 on Derek Lee. A kick and a pitch. 2-1.
It has to be a big relief for Kip Wells to get through the 5th inning unscathed. He had given up 27 runs in the 5th inning of his starts this year. Almost 1/3 of his runs came in the 5th inning. Cubs didn't push across a run in the top half of the 5th. Trying to do so here in the 6th.
As a sign from Molina, Theriot runs. The pitch is a called strike, and so is the throw from Molina. He is leading the major leagues well over 50% with a caught stealing percentage, and he just nailed Ryan Theriot.
Theriot with a little bit of a slow jump over there, but Molina, I don't know, strong throw and a nice tag by Adam Kennedy to make that play look really close. I don't know. It looked like Ryan might have gotten his foot on the bag before the tag of Adam Kennedy, but you can see what Kennedy does. He just slaps the glove down in front of the base and pulls it up.
And that's what Alan Trammell has told Mike Fontenot and Ryan Theriot. Just get it in, get it out. As you check out the LoJack caught stealing report, LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police. So the stolen base percentage for opposing base stealers just over 40%, and Molina's caught stealing percentage about 54%, leading the big leagues. In the hole, diving stop by Miles, but he won't be able to make a throw, and Derek Lee has an 8-game hitting streak, so he takes over for first for Ryan Theriot, who is nabbed at second. 1 out in the inning, and Ramirez will bat with Lee on.
Well-placed ground ball on that left side. It was a slider down low and away. D. Lee hit it right off the end of the bat, but enough to get it past Scott Rowland. And once Miles leaves his feet to dive for that ball in a hole, no chance to get the out at first.
Nothing on Ramirez, another former Kip Wells Pirates teammate at one point earlier this decade. Ramos 5 for 15 against Wells with 1 home run. The kick and the pitch. Drifts inside. And Ramos will be thinking dead red here. By the way, according to baseballreference.com, the park factor, this ballpark slightly favoring the pitchers this year. Taken all the way, and he went with off speed, a breaking ball. 3-0.
Right, Wells has shown some frustration in this inning with some of the ball strike calls by Larry Poncina. There was a pitch earlier in the inning. He asked, was that down? This 2-0 breaking ball right here. Well, I don't know. That appears to be pretty much in the middle of the plate. Molina catches it down below the knees, but when that crossed the front of home plate, it looked like a pretty good pitch.
Pitcher's strike. Now 3-1. Yeah, Wells not really hiding his dissatisfaction with the strike zone tonight. Here he comes again, and a little flare. This one could drop down. Pujols back on it. He won't get there in time. First and second. Kennedy and Pujols went after it along with Schumacher, and it found no man's land for Ramirez's second hit.
Another breaking ball in a 3-1 count. Ramirez gets jammed a little bit. Really took a big swing at that ball, looking to jerk it out of the ballpark to left field. It's a little flare down the right field line that drops. That'll work.
Yeah, Derek had to wait.
Yeah, he wasn't sure if it was going to get down or not. Pujols covers a lot of ground over there at first base, as does Kennedy at second base, so he wanted to make sure that ball was on the grass before he advanced. Could only make it as far as second base.
Now it's kind of hard to tell where the ball was as we had that shot of Derek. Big swing and a miss. But you do get to a point, we've talked about this before too, where you get into no man's land, and at some point you either just commit to go or you stop. But hard to fault Derek there, because when it went up, you weren't quite sure if somebody was going to get to it. I mean, if he takes off right on contact, he's standing on third base. Going outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Of course, the other side of that coin is if he takes off and the ball's caught, it's an inning-ending double play.
Yep.
And everybody said, what in the world's Derek Lee doing out there?
Yeah, that's why, again, you can't really quibble with his decision. And the game always looks easier from up here. I mean, off the bat from up here, it looked like it was going to be a tough play, but not down on the field, I'm sure. Bouncer. Oh, what a play by Pujols, and he will beat Floyd to first base. That would have tied the game easily. As it is second and third with 2 outs. Pujols won a Gold Glove last year, and that's why.
Oh, absolutely robbing Cliff Floyd of extra bases. That ball looked like it was headed for the right field corner. He just stretches out at the last instant, gloves it, and then doesn't even risk a toss on to Wells. Takes it himself at first base. The Cardinals are blessed with a couple of corner infielders that can throw some leather at you.
Well, last year he became the first Cardinal first baseman to win a Gold Glove since Keith Hernandez in 1982. So it's up to Ronnie Cedeno, who has seen 1 pitch tonight. He flied to right in the 5th inning. Mark DeRosa had to leave early with left hamstring tendonitis, so Cedeno brought in to play short, and Terrio moved to second. (2-1) St. Louis. Skip Schumacher with a big hit. Go ahead 2-run triple. Cedeno shoots it into left, base hit. And the Cubs will get just 1 as Ramirez is held at third. Derek Lee scoring the tying run. Big hit by Ronnie. And it's 2-2.
Seems like about every other day we're talking about the newest Cub, Ronnie Cedeno, the newest Cub today. Cues one off the end of the bat, a little breaking ball out over the plate, but finds grass in left field. Ramirez still not running at near 100% with that sore knee. Has to be held up at third base, but Derek Lee walked home.
And a chance here for more with Jock Jones coming up. 4 singles in the inning. And even after Ryan Terrio was caught stealing, the Cubs still able to rally. Interesting alignment. You have Roland way off the line at third. You have Aaron Miles shaded up the middle. But in the outfield, you have Edmonds shaded slightly into left center.
Well, I guarantee you the Cardinals outfielders aren't standing there because they're comfortable in that position. That's based on what Tony La Russa and his staff have gleaned from the spray charts, where Jock Jones hits certain pitches, where Jock Jones hits certain pitches in certain counts.
And we've seen it. It's a lot of balls the other way in the outfield, but the Cardinals reports telling them that most of the ground balls he hits are pulled. The RBIs tonight belonging to Jones and Cedeno. Inside. 3-1.
Looks suspiciously like a pitch around right here. Molina set up way off the outside corner on the first 3 pitches, went way inside off the plate on that last pitch. Good hitter's count here for Jock Jones, but I don't believe they're going to throw him a fastball.
They did not. They're going to check down to third, and Gary Darling said he did not swing, and the bases are loaded. I think you're absolutely right. With the way Jason Kendall not only has scuffled since he came to the Cubs, but has hit a couple of ground balls to third tonight. They're going to go after the catcher. That was close.
Very close.
But a good night for Jock. He has reached all 3 times. Well, Jock loves his ballpark, doesn't he? He had one of his biggest games of the year here. 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs on April 28th, including a double and a triple. Well, Dave Duncan getting into it with Larry Poncino.
Yeah, I mean, that may have been a dual-purpose trip to the mound for Dave Duncan. He probably had some words of advice for Kip Wells, maybe a suggestion on what to do to Jason Kendall, but more than anything else, he wanted Larry Poncino to come out to the mound so he could vent a little bit. And now Tony La Russa's getting his money's worth over there from that first base dugout.
So it's up to Kendall now in a tied game, 2-2. 3 on, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. Kendall 1 for 13 with the Cubs. Knee-high strike on a fastball at 92. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a ground ball for Aaron Miles. And that's the inning, but the Cubs do tie it. Ronnie Cedeno back in the big leagues and staying hot. 2-2.
Believe it or not, I struggled with car buying issues until my friend showed me this book. Every page is filled with helpful car advice. It helped me get a great deal on the highest safety-rated minivan ever built, the Kia Sedona, with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty program. Because the more you know, the less you don't know.
Now with 2.9% APR plus 500 bonus cash plus 1,000 competitive bonus.
Hey, Cubs fans, tune into Comcast Sportsnet all year to watch your team and the LoJack caught stealing play. Then visit Cubs.com/LoJack to enter to win a 2008 spring training trip. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hotter than a collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
Sign up for a subscription to Vineline, the official monthly magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Vineline offers exclusive player features, team analysis, Wrigley Field news, and Cubs minor league coverage. Subscriptions begin at just $24.95. Call 1-800-248-9467 or visit Cubs.com to order Vineline today. We're even at 2-2. Jim Edmonds' first pitch swinging. Jock Jones ended up turning around completely and made the catch. No panic from Jock. And he got twisted around a little bit. Right there.
Yeah, I think he was anticipating that ball slicing a little bit more off the left-handed Jim Edmonds' bat. Normally that ball would slice back toward the gap a little bit, but he caught it pretty pure out in front of home plate and hit it straight away to center field. Jock with a nice adjustment.
I'm sure the heart rate went up just a little bit. Boy, outfielders hate to take their eyes off the ball, but he was able to recover no problem. One strike now on Scott Rowland. You know, Scott hasn't made any excuses for his lack of power at times. He came in slugging just .382. And the home run he hit the other night was his first in a long time. But with the surgically repaired left shoulder, that's your front shoulder from the right side. And he finally gave in and had a cortisone shot last week. The home run was his first since June 18th. Derek Lee circling. He went back, now comes in and makes a catch in foul ground. I think Scott Rowland and Derek Lee are a lot alike. They're not going to make any excuses, or probably not going to tell their manager about an injury. And you know, in the case of Scott Rowland, he and Tony La Russa had maybe a little tension there in the playoffs last year about some playing time and taken out of the starting lineup for a game in the NLCS. Left shoulder had bothered him. Continued to play late last season and maybe shouldn't have. Struggled to start the postseason. Ended up on the bench for a little bit. And he didn't like being taken out, but eventually got hot. He hit .421 in the World Series. Nice play by Ryan Theriot. That ball carrying him into shallow right field as he throws out Aaron Miles. A quick sixth inning for Carlos Zambrano, getting helped by his defenders. Nice play by Theriot. 2-2.
The 2007 Chevy Impala has something Toyota and Honda don't. The GM 100,000-mile warranty. And OnStar, with help at the push of a button. And diagnostic checks emailed to you every month. Impala has you covered for the road ahead. Qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Chevy Impala LT for around $199 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Impala 1LT for around $199 a month.
That's Rusty Wallace, amazing driver. He's also my third cousin once removed. That's his brother, Mike Wallace, driver of the Geico Chevrolet. I can see why Geico sponsors Mike. And when he does well, people will think about saving money on car insurance. Whereas if I were driving that car, all they could think about is, there goes Lauren Wallace, greatest thing that ever climbed into a race car. Poor fella. He has no idea.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
See that house? I built that house. Hey, see that truck? I built that truck.
The American-built Toyota Tundra. Now with 0% APR financing or $3,000 cash back. Find out more at ytundra.com.
Thursday, Derek Lee and the Cubs are primed for victory when they square off with Albert Pujols and the rival Cardinals, followed by Cubs postgame live. Cubs Cardinals available in widescreen format Thursday at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Get Chicago sports news nightly on Land Rover's Sports Night coming up after Cubs postgame live. Mitch Robinson is in Peoria to report on Kerry Wood's rehab outing Plus a recap of this game. Join Mark and Pat for Land Rover Sports Night tonight after Cubs postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Carlos Zambrano leading off the 7th inning. That's always a good sign for a starting pitcher, getting his 3rd at bat.
And you have to believe Kip Wells is going to be on an extremely short leash from this point forward. He's averaging only 5 1/3 innings per start this season. Tony La Russa has gotten a lot more out of him tonight than I think he probably anticipated.
By the way, after our Aflac trivia question, we have received a lot of emails, people wondering why Jim Leland was not on that list. Active managers who have won a division title in both leagues. Well, the Tigers did not win the American League Central last year. It was the Twins. So that's why he's not on the list.
It got me too. That was one of my guesses, and I was quickly.
Well, weren't they swept by the Royals in the final weekend of the season, and the Twins were able to pass them? So let's see. Leland's taken 2 wild card teams to the World Series. The Florida Marlins back in 1997. And the Tigers last year. And I would guess that he's the first manager to take 2 wild card teams, or at least teams from both leagues, to win the wild card all the way to the World Series. They won it in 97 with Florida. Lost to the Cardinals last year with Detroit. But we appreciate the correspondence, as always. We like that you're thinking on your feet. Zambrano hits a roller to Adam Kennedy and is thrown out, really hustling. Boy, I always worry about Carlos when he stretches like that. After Aramis Ramirez went on the DL with a knee injury on a very similar sort of play at first base. But you can't fault the hustle.
We'd be a little more concerned if this was out of character or out of the norm for Carlos, but he does that all the time. He runs everything out hard. I think when injuries happen is when you start out of the box slowly and then realize I've got a chance to get an infield hit, and then you try to turn it on at the last minute, jump for that base. That's when you get hurt.
A sellout tonight, 45,436. Not a big surprise. Cubs and the Cardinals. Doesn't matter what the weather is, what time of the year it is, whether it's a Tuesday night or a Sunday afternoon, this series is going to draw a ton of fans. Doesn't matter what the records are. Right now, the Cubs find themselves well ahead of the Cardinals for 2nd place, but everybody right now chasing Milwaukee. Cubs are 5 games up on St. Louis. A little tighter in Cincinnati, but it's late. 5-3 in the top of the 9th. Milwaukee with a lead. At one point it was 4-3, but the Brewers have added a run in the 9th. Adam Dunn with a home run tonight. 2-run shot off Derek Turnbow. Giovanni Gallardo, another terrific outing. 6 2/3, 1 run. Former Cub Michael Barrett suspended for 1 game. The announcement came today. Also fined for his, quote, inappropriate actions during the Padres game on July 22nd against the Phillies. So that was on Sunday. Not sure if he's going to appeal. And as you heard Gale mention earlier in an update, Craig Biggio will retire after the 2007 season. Earlier this season, reaching 3,000 hits. Ground ball to Scott Rowland, knocked it down, picked it up, and Ends up throwing out Soriano. Alfonso with a quiet night now, 0 for 4. Bud Selig in San Francisco tonight. Barry Bonds batting 4th for the Giants. And the commissioner is saying today that he will try to be in attendance when Barry Bonds breaks Hank Aaron's all-time home run mark. And the quote was that Bonds is, quote, innocent until proven guilty. That's from the commissioner today.
Hey, as long as we're throwing little nuggets and tidbits out there, do you know who's leading the Pacific Coast League in home runs right now?
Wow. I do not.
Former Cardinals starting pitcher Rick Ankiel has 28 home runs to lead the Pacific Coast League. Hit one tonight. Trying to make a comeback as an outfielder, 28 years old.
Well, based on some of the Cardinal stories I've read throughout the season, it sounds like at some point, whether it's this year or next, Rick Ankiel will be back in the big leagues as, just you said, as an outfielder. So good for him. Rowland had trouble with that one, and Terrio's on. It'll be an error on Scott Rowland. He dropped the last ground ball hit by Soriano, but right at his feet and had plenty of time to recover. Not that time. And as you said, a lot of errors for the Cardinals. That's their 73rd of the year. Just number 4 for Rowland.
Yeah, 4 for Rowland. All 4 fielding errors, no throwing errors on the season. Right there at the edge of the grass. Actually, he just misplayed that ball. I thought maybe it hit the cut of the grass right there, but it clearly hit the dirt right in front of him. He just misplayed it. Really odd to see the Cardinals on the wrong end of that list.
Rowland has won 7 Gold Gloves. And some would say he is as good as any third baseman ever defensively.
Yeah, he's definitely right up there at the top of the list. I had a third baseman in Arizona, Matt Williams, that was pretty strong with the leather. Former Ohio University Bobcat Michael Jack Schmidt did a pretty nice job. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Brooks Robinson, you know, widely recognized as the best defensive third baseman to play the game, but when Scott Rowland is done playing this game, he'll be right up at the top of that list.
Well, we'll probably get a letter or two from people who watched Brooks Robinson and will say that Scott Rowland is not as good as Brooks Robinson was. I'm not saying he is. I didn't see Brooks Robinson play, but people in the game today talk about Scott Rowland in the same breath as the aforementioned Schmidt and Robinson. So you can send your letters to them.
Yeah. The guy sitting in the booth next to us was a pretty fair third baseman.
You're right. Ronnie could pick it. Two 2-0 on Derek Lee. We're in a tie game, 2-2 in the 7th. Just a little bit low on a slider. Swinging away on 3-0. And now it's 3-1.
Well, that's something Derek Lee rarely does. I think we saw him do it maybe one time all season last year, swinging away on a 3-0 count.
Wells at the set position. Terrio with a medium lead, and he's running, and it's ball 4. Kip Wells Might be close to done as Randy Flores is up.
You're watching Tony La Russa in that first base dugout. When he puts his glasses back on, that's usually an indication he's going to leave the pitcher out there on the mound. He looks at his lineup card. If he puts his glasses in his back pocket, that's when he's going to make the trip to the mound.
We saw Russ Springer with a bottle of water. A right-hander also out there for the Cardinals. Strike one on Ramirez. Everything happening with 2 outs. Terrio reached on an error by Scott Rowland, and then Derek Lee walked. A 1-strike pitch, base hit in the left. Terrio will score easily. And the Cubs lead again 3-2. Second time they've had the advantage tonight. And the third hit for Ramirez, RBI number 65 on the season. And that'll be an unearned run.
Well, Wells has done a nice job trying to come in off the plate to Ramirez. That time he just didn't let him. Got that bat hit out in front and buggy whipped that fastball into the left field corner. Driving home the go-ahead run. Great jump at second base by Terrio. With 2 outs in the inning, he's off on contact and scored easily.
And here comes the Cardinal manager. So the Cubs take advantage of a rare error by Scott Rowland. Ramirez with the RBI hit. It's 3-2. We'll have a pitching change from St. Louis.
Believe it or not, I struggled with car buying issues until my friend showed me this book. Every page is filled with helpful car advice.
It helped me get a great deal on the highest safety-rated minivan ever built, the Kia Sedona, with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty program.
Because the more you know, the less you don't know.
Now with 2.9% APR plus 500 bonus cash plus 1,000 competitive bonus.
To my darling wife, I leave my stock portfolio. To my daughter, Susan, I leave my yacht. And to my son, Jack, I leave my garage.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Must be a Danley.
Now you can own a Danley and get $1,000 off any size Danley garage. Just call 773 Garages right now and get $1,000 off the custom-built Danley of your choice.
It's my Danley.
Danley's Garage World. Danley.
Depend on Danley.
We know you like style. We know you like performance. We thought you'd like fuel economy as well. With the Pontiac G6, you get the same highway fuel economy as Camry, with even more power. The new Pontiac, designed for action.
During the Pontiac Summer Sell-Down, get into a 2007 G6 sedan starting at $16,895. Hurry, inventory limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
Feldco is offering free installation. Call for a free estimate.
Hurry, this offer ends soon.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Southpaw Randy Flores is now on to face left-handed hitting Cliff Floyd. Cubs now leading again 3-2.
The numbers for Flores on the season. Yeah, lefties ironically hitting .311 against the left-hander. First time Cliff Floyd has faced Randy Flores. Yeah, if lefties are hitting .311 against you, you can't really be called a left-handed specialist.
I agree. The Cubs had a guy like that, Mike Remlinger, who was better against righties than lefties because of his changeup. Cliff is officially 0 for 3, but scored the first run after hitting into a fielder's choice in the second inning. He would later come to the plate on a Jock Jones single. Outside, ball 1. have Derek Lee at second base. Aramis Ramirez at first. Popped him up on the left. And Roland makes the catch at foul ground. They will stretch in St. Louis after Aramis Ramirez gives the Cubs a 3-2 lead.
Road and Track calls the Infiniti FX simply one of the best performance SUVs in the world. Autoworld.com proclaimed the Infiniti QX as luxury on a grand scale. What will you say? Visit the Infiniti Limited Engagement Summer Event before it ends July 31st and receive 0.9% APR financing on select Infiniti vehicles.
At Dell, we believe your small business needs more than just technology it can rely on. You deserve an entire division of small business experts for advice before the sale, ideas to keep your business humming, and trained support online, on the phone, and on site. At Dell, we believe in giving you advice, customized technology, and support whenever you need it most. Maybe that's why we're the #1 choice for small business. Dell, we believe in small business.
SAP software has made running my mid-sized business much easier. Actually, I have time for lunch. It's all very glamorous.
Try Arby's new popcorn chicken shakers, made with 100% natural all-white meat chicken. Add as much or as little buffalo or barbecue sauce as you'd like, then just shake it up. So good, they'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
Hey, Cub fans, this year when you can't be at home to watch the Cubs on TV, check out MLB.tv. You can watch every out-of-market game of the season live online, even when you're traveling. And this year, live radio broadcasts are included with a subscription to MLB.tv. For more details, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on.
Nicely done. 3-2 Cubs. Carlos Zambrano still out there. Pitch number 105 of his evening. And it's to the catcher, Yadier Molina. Will be a pinch hitter after Molina, so Taguchi's on deck. And then Adam Kennedy, the leadoff man. Three and 0. Molina was ready to hit the first no matter what. That ball was a pretty good strike. 3-1. Ullman's up. Ryan Dempster on the phone. I can just imagine how he answered the phone in the bullpen. There's another one. Molina with 2 false starts toward first base.
And normally I would suggest Molina swing at anything close right here. You do that twice to a home plate umpire, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt on a borderline pitch on that 3-2 count.
Any idea what Ryan Dempster said when he answered the phone?
Oh, it's hard to say.
I think he was asking for time. He might have been asking for time before that pitch. I thought he lifted his hand right before the called third strike, and Tony La Russa is going to come out. And while you can't argue balls and strikes, you can't argue whether or not you call time or not, and that'll keep Molina in the ball game and might keep La Russa in. Now watch the right hand. Right there, he's asking for time and doesn't get it.
You can't get timeout when Zambrano's halfway through his delivery, and you can only request time. The umpire is under no obligation to grant you a timeout, and Carlos was clearly halfway through his delivery. His front leg was up in the air. He was ready to drive toward the plate and deliver that pitch. That's way too late. No umpire is going to give you timeout that late.
Boy, did that at bad turnaround or what? It was 3-0. Then Molina took steps toward first on the 3-0 and the 3-1 pitches. Then he tried to ask for time and took a called third on a slider. So Taguchi pinch hitting.
Now, this is one thing the Cardinals have done well this year. They've been really good coming off the bench. They lead the National League with 42 pinch hits, .282 batting average for their pinch hitters. And Taguchi is one of their better, 5 for 15 on the season.
Well, Molina, much calmer than a lot of big league players would be right now. A lot of guys would be back in the tunnel, maybe taking their helmet and making it into about 57 different pieces after a bat like that.
That's where he was headed. That was an odd at bat. Tried to walk to first base on 2 different called strikes and then asked for timeout on strike 3.
It was a slow curveball that didn't break much. And it's full on Taguchi. Now Carlos maybe a little extra in the tank after not throwing a lot of pitches in his last start. He threw 80 pitches in 5 innings his last time out. And Taguchi walks. And I think that's going to be it. Already a call made by Lou Piniella. Back-to-back lefties due up, Kennedy and Schumacher. And he's going to go with Will Ullman. It's 3-2 Cubs. We'll be back to St. Louis.
Not all the energy for our fuel comes from oil on the ground. A lot of it comes from our people, who year in and year out put so much of their energy into everything they do. So you can be sure that when you put Valero gas into your tank, you're going to get a lot out of it. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
Free installation at Feldco can save you hundreds, even thousands. Call now.
Call 866-4FEL. DCO.
It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year. Feldco is offering free installation. Save thousands on replacement windows with no interest or payments till next year. Call for a free estimate and free installation.
Hurry, this offer ends July 31st.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4Feldco.
The 2007 Chevy Impala has something Toyota and Honda don't. The GM 100,000-mile warranty. And OnStar, with help at the push of a button. And diagnostic checks emailed to you every month. Impala has you covered for the road ahead. Qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Chevy Impala LT for around $199 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Impala 1LT for around $199 a month.
Well, I just hope Will fares better on the mound than he did trying to open the door to get out of the bullpen. You know what? That reminds me of myself. I got locked in my hotel room today. I couldn't get out of the room. I felt just like Will, I'm sure, did right there. I had to actually call security to get me out of the room.
I always felt the bullpen would be better with swinging doors like they used to have on the old saloons, you know? As a relief pitcher's kind of like a gunslinger anyway, you know, just kick the swinging doors open and come in from the bullpen. Will Ullman appearing in his 41st ball game of the season. As you mentioned, a couple of back-to-back lefties, but that will not be the case now. He's going to have to face David Eckstein, pinch hitting for Adam Kennedy.
Here's Eckstein. And the one thing we know about Eckstein is that he'll battle you with 2 strikes.
And if you're sitting on the first base side of Busch Stadium right now, you've got a real good chance to have a foul ball hit your direction.
Eckstein missed some time on the disabled list. About a month with lower back tightness from mid-June to mid-July. Came off the DL on July 13th, so right after the All-Star break. And he pops it foul over to that area that you just talked about. Yeah, you ever been locked in your hotel room? That was not a pleasant feeling. The handle on the door wasn't working. I thought I was going to have to climb out the window. I'm on the second floor. But they were able to fix it.
I've been locked out before, but never locked in.
Slider strike. 0-2 on Eckstein. He'll likely just stay in and play short. Aaron Miles will go from short to second with Kennedy now out. And Juan Encarnacion's on deck where Skip Schumacher was scheduled to hit. Taguchi, the runner at first, the kick and the pitch. Look out, right behind the Cardinal dugout. The young Albert Pujols fan ended up with it. Another 0-2 and a fly ball. Jock Jones slipped a little bit, but able to get there and make the catch for out number 2. Just a brief slip as he couldn't find his footing, but it didn't cost him.
Carlos likes it. He knows if David Eckstein's hitting balls in the air to center field, he's going to be retired.
And Lou coming back out after Juan Encarnacion was announced. Carlos Marmol will come in as Lester Strode tries to get him out of the bullpen. Here comes a hard throwing righty after Oman did his job. Still 3-2.
One half-ton pickup has the best warranty of any other. The best fuel economy of any other. Not to mention the highest possible front crash test rating. Makes you wonder why you'd want any other truck. The all-new redesigned GMC Sierra.
It's the GMC Summer Sell-Down on a great selection of 07 models. Right now, get 0% APR or $2,000 total cash back when you purchase an all-new 07 Sierra 1500 Extended or Crew Cab. For more information, visit gmcdrive.com.
We believe small business technology should work as hard as you do. We believe that you're big enough for custom-built solutions. And your computer company should always be there to answer your questions.
Ball before he actually had it under control. He was looking for Ryan Theriot coming into second base there. Took his eye off the ball just for a split second at the very end of the play, and it cost him.
Well, and now Marmol has to face Pujols. Yikes. There's a strike and a fastball. An ill-timed defensive miscue with Albert Pujols coming up. Marmol's 0-1. Oh, he got the call on the slide piece. 2 strikes. Boy, that's big.
Hard slider at 83 miles an hour right on the corner.
Now the put-away pitch. Ooh. Where was it? That's what Lou and Larry want to know.
No, the truth of the matter is it was way too close to the strike zone for an 0-2 pitch.
Looked pretty good. A 1-2. Fastball at 95, just missed again. Seventh inning drama in St. Louis. Marmol against Pujols. Rolls over to third, charged by Ramirez. And the Cardinals done in the 7th. Little fist pump by Marmol. Zambrano pumped up as well. It's still 3-2 Cubs.
With convenient flights every day, Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to do business out of town and still come home at night.
Winston, I'm home!
Fly one of Southwest's 8 daily nonstops from Chicago Midway to the San Francisco Bay Area for just $99, including new service to San Francisco International starting August 26th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Help! Help! I'm hurt and can't work. I need help to pay my rent, car payment, and electric bill.
You! Do something!
My bills! My hero.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
A shift has been made. Now power isn't sacrificed to achieve fuel efficiency. And cars that perform great on the road also perform great at the pump. Introducing the 36-mile-per-gallon Nissan Versa, 36-mile-per-gallon Sentra, 35-mile-per-gallon Altima. 3 powerful Nissan sedans with 35 miles per gallon or higher. All with 0.7% APR financing. Now, when you think power and fuel efficiency, think Nissan.
Now the sharp aqueous detail of the game, the rare Scott Rowland error. Looked harmless at the time, but it wasn't. A couple of batters later after the Derek Lee walker, Ramos Ramirez with the RBI single. Unearned run, and the Cubs lead 3-2. That was in the 7th. We're now in the 8th. And a lot going on behind the scenes here. I guess the bullpen phone from the dugout to the Cubs pen was malfunctioning.
And now he wants to know what spot the pitcher, Russ Springer, is going to hit in. The Cardinals making multiple changes. They just want to make sure they have that lineup right over in that third base dugout.
So Springer on to pitch. So Taguchi's going to play right. And as we theorized, Eckstein playing short with Aaron Miles moving to second. Ronnie Cedeno with an RBI single to tie it in the 6th. First game back from AAA Iowa. Gazes at strike 1. Cubs out hitting the Cardinals tonight 8-5. They had half their hits in the 6th. The Brewers did win tonight 5-3 over the Reds. Giovanni Gallardo improves to 3-1. Matt Belisle took the loss. He drops to 5-7. So they've split the first 2 of that series. So the Cubs need to win tonight to remain within 3 of the division leader. Off the leg of the pitcher Springer, it'll go 1-4-3 as Miles throws out Cedeno.
Boy, tough break for Ronnie there. That ball looked like it was headed into center field for a base hit. Hard one hopper, looked like it hit Springer right in the knee and ricocheted directly to his second baseman, able to make the play at first with no problem.
Jock Jones with an RBI single and 2 walks. In the zone on a breaking ball. Jock started at 245, 1 for 1 officially, now 248, still just 2 home runs on the year. And the bullpen setting up tonight for the first time the way Lou Piniella would like to, with Ryan Dempster back. He used Ullman and Marmol to each get an out in the 7th after Zambrano was pulled. He'll have Howery for the bottom of the 8th and then Ryan Dempster in the 9th. Now it'll be Jason Kendall with 2 gone. Cubs trying to improve to 3-0 here at Busch Stadium in 2007. Cardinals remembering Josh Hancock with his uniform number on their right sleeve. He was killed in an auto accident when the Cubs were here in late April, and they had their Sunday night game postponed. It'll be made up as part of a day-night doubleheader on September 15th. That'll be a Saturday. Been a very rough year for the Cardinals on and off the field. Two on Kendall. And as we mentioned off the top, Mike Coolbaugh, who was killed after getting hit by a line drive in the first base coach's box in a Double-A game, at one time did play for the Cardinals. He also played for Mike Quaddy in the minor leagues back in the 90s. Springer strikes out Kendall. Bottom 8, it's 3-2 Cubs.
Introducing the Cadillac Summer Event. Right now at your Cadillac dealer, you can experience the best Cadillac has to offer and 0% APR financing across all models. The best part about summer? It's here.
Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
This summer, keep it on Cartoon Network, because every Monday through Thursday night at 7, we've got something new. Mondays, don't miss premiere episodes of Stormhawks.
I like it.
Tuesdays, it's the new season of Code Lyoko. Yeah! Wednesdays, it's new episodes of Camp Lazlo.
That's great, dude.
Thursdays, catch all new episodes of Class of 3000. It's all new shows all summer long. Monday through Thursday night at 7, only on Cartoon Network.
J.D. Power Automotive Ratings. Everybody wants them. We've got them. See them for yourself in our new interactive video buying guides, now at vehix.com.
For Bacardi Late Night on Comcast Sportsnet. Time now for a Cadillac Sports Update.
Welcome into our Comcast Sportsnet studios. I'm Gail Fisher. We'll get you back out to St. Louis in just a moment, but first, let's check out the Brewers and Reds from Cincinnati. 4-3 Brew Crew in the 9th. Prince Fielder at the dish, 2 outs. Friends comes through with a broken bat single to left. That scores a run. So Milwaukee goes on to win this 5-3, putting pressure on the Cubs to hold on in St. Louis. Let's see if they can as we go back to Busch Stadium with Len and Bob.
All right, Gail, thank you. Bottom of the 8th inning. The Cubs clinging to a 1-run lead. Angel Pagan now playing right. He'll also hit 9th, meaning he'll lead off the 9th inning. And Bob Howery into pitch. He slots in where Cliff Floyd was in the 5th spot. Duncan, Edmonds, Roland, for St. Louis. And again, this is where you start to think about how the Cardinal lineup rolls over. Pujols made the last out of the 7th inning. So if Howery and Dempster can work clean innings, they won't have to face Albert Pujols, who, by the way, is 0 for 4 tonight. But that doesn't matter. He's still the last guy you want to see. Duncan is 1 for 3 with a single and 2 strikeouts. Came in hitting .413 this month. Right at Derek Lee. It was hit sharply, and it'll be 3 unassisted for out number 1.
Now, this couldn't have worked out any better for Lou Piniella to make the change. You bring in Bob Howery, you bring in Angel Pagan along with him, you double switch in the lineup. You have Pagan leading off, plus you have your best defensive outfield in the game right now with Pagan playing right field. Dempster starting to stir around down in that Cubs bullpen. He wants to get up and start throwing right now, but he knows he's got plenty of time to get ready. He knows exactly how many pitches it's going to take him to prepare to come into a ball game, and it varies from pitcher to pitcher. Some guys, especially those late inning relievers, can get ready in as quick as 10 to 12 pitches, plus they get 8 more on the mound when they go out there to warm up to start the inning.
You're talking about the bullpen secretary, right? Ryan Dempster answering phones out there.
Oh yeah. Scheduling meetings.
Mr. Marmol's not available. Can I please take a message?
I always thought it would be funny to put an answering machine down there on that bullpen phone.
We're not here.
Yeah, we're not here right now. Just leave a message. We'll get back to you as soon as we get to the bottom of the order.
May I tell him who's calling? It's the manager.
Yeah, it would be funny once with Lou, I think, and that would be it.
Now, you are a bullpen coach. Do you say hello? I mean, you know who's calling. It's a pitching coach, right?
I'll tell you, when I was a bullpen coach, I just hoped that the pitching coach waited until I picked the phone up before he said who he wanted to get up. A lot of times, you know, things are going crazy down there in the dugout late in the ball game. You got changes, you got pinch hitters available for the other team. You're trying to figure out the matchups, and the pitching coach occasionally would pick up the phone and say, get so-and-so up, and I didn't even have the phone up to my ear yet, and he's already hanging up, and I'd have to call back down to the dugout. Who do you want? And then they act like you're a dummy. Well, I just told you.
I wonder if Lester says Chicago Cubs bullpen. Lester speaking. Who's this?
I kind of doubt it, yeah. What do you want?
Well, knowing Larry Rothschild like we do, my guess is he's pretty short and direct.
Yep.
Get Omen up.
You know, we've talked about this before. There are different commands that you will give depending on how quickly you need that relief pitcher to get ready. Sometimes, like right now, Ryan Dempster's stretching. He's just kind of moving around. You know, it's been a long ball game sitting down there and watching.
Pagan racing over, makes the catch. A well-timed defensive substitution as Pagan with those great wheels got over there to cut it off and record the out.
Nothing against Cliff Floyd, but I don't think he makes this play. Edmonds with that uppercut swing, a lot of topspin on that fly ball, and Pagan turned it into a relatively routine play. Great speed. Hey, you may call down to the bullpen and just have him move around. Or you may say just have him playing catch. And then other times it's get him ready quick. And you see Ryan just kind of taking his good old sweet time. He knows he has plenty of time to get ready.
One strike on Roland. Lightly taps at front foot.
And believe it or not, there are times when you'll call down to the bullpen and get a pitcher up that you have no intention of bringing into a ball game, just to make that opposing manager look down to the bullpen, see that there's a lefty up or a righty up, whatever the situation may be, and try to nullify some of his most valuable pinch hitters off the bench. Just have him get up and act like he's throwing. Just so that opposing manager could see him down there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Well, there have been a lot of close pitches tonight.
This kind of reminds me of that contact.
2 for 4 with 4 RBIs after announcing he's going to retire. Base hit. So Roland keeps the inning alive for the Cardinals. And it brings up Aaron Miles.
Bob Harry has to do a little dance out there on the mound to avoid that one. Hey, you wonder why managers get thrown out of ball games for arguing balls and strikes. You brought it up at the beginning of the inning. Always have an eye on where Albert Pujols is. You want to be very economical and get through this lineup quickly before Pujols has a chance to roll around. A couple of borderline pitches don't go your way, and here we go.
Well, Angel Pagan with a couple of catches as the Cardinals hit the ball 2 times, but for outs. They strand 1. 3-2 to the 9th.
It's the Chevy Summer Sales Drive, where you'll find the all-new Chevy Silverado 1LT with the best available 4x4 highway fuel economy and the best warranty of any full-size pickup. Better than Ford, better than Toyota. And now we're giving Silverado our best lease yet. Qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on this 07 Silverado half-ton for around $259 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Qualified lessees get this 07 Silverado half-ton for around $259 a month.
Cordially invited to the event from Lexus. The summer sales event where you'll find unexpected values on the Lexus you've always wanted. But like summer, it won't last forever. The event, now through September 4th. See your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
After the game, stick around for Cubs Post-Game Live. Get highlights of all the action and analysis from Dan Plesac. Don't miss Cubs Post-Game Live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Springer worked a very quick 1-2-3 8th inning through 11 pitches, 9 for strikes. And he'll face Pagan, Soriano, and Terrio for the Cubs. We start a 6-game road trip tonight, and this is the first of 20 straight games without an off day. Cubs coming off their first back-to-back losses since June 20th and 21st at Texas. Trying to get back in that win column tonight after Milwaukee won. Cubs trying to keep pace. Pagan, a switch hitter, the corner men in. After a pitch up and out of the zone and missed it. 1-2.
Pagan in nearly the same amount of at-bats has hit 80 points higher for average from the left side of the plate. However, all 4 of his home runs have come as a right-handed hitter.
Coming off a pretty good homestand, he went 8 for 21 with 2 doubles, a triple, a home run, 6 RBIs. Good combination with Cliff Floyd starts out in right. You bring Pagan in late for defense. And again, that's one of those things that will not show up in the box score. That running catch that Pagan made. I mean, it was an out as Edmonds lined out. But if Pagan had not been playing right, Edmonds might have been on second base. Kick in a 2-2, and he struck him out on a foul tip.
Boy, that was just a textbook up the ladder at bat for Russ Springer against Angel Pagan. Got ahead in the count and then just threw each successive pitch a little bit higher out of the strike zone. Angel couldn't lay off. It's like going up the rungs of a ladder.
I'm not sure if he ever did touch that ball. I thought I heard a little nick of the bat on the ball. But Molina caught it, didn't really matter. Soriano takes a breaking ball away, ball 1. Well, it's strange to see him struggle tonight against Kip Wells. He went 0 for 4. He was 6 for 8 with 2 doubles against Wells coming in. Quality start for Wells. 6 2/3 innings, 3 runs, 2 were earned. So back-to-back quality outings for him as he tries to stay in the Cardinal rotation for the rest of the year. Spent a little time in their bullpen, but then after the break jumped back into the rotation, and he's been really good his last 2 starts. Pitching matchups for the rest of this series. Ted Lilly for the Cubs tomorrow, looking for his 11th win. Adam Wainwright has 9 wins for the Cardinals. And then on Thursday, Jason Marquis, who's already 2-0 against his former club, against right-hander Braden Looper. And we'll have Game 3 for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet beginning at 7 o'clock Central Time. Hooked foul. Cubs with 8 hits. The Cardinals have 6. No home runs tonight. Another foul. Arizona back home and shutting out Florida 7-0 in the 5th inning. Diamondbacks cooled off the Cubs, hopefully briefly, by winning 2 of 3 over the weekend. Well, the board says that was ball 4, but we were right. We had it 2-2, but the board said 3-2 earlier. So now it's 3-2. A lot of times when the board has the wrong count, the umpire will indicate what it is. Swing and a miss. And now wait a second. The third base umpire put up his arms, and I think Lou Piniella wanted to know what the count was. Well, great work on our truck. We had it right, but the board. Now wait a second. What's Larry Poncino saying here?
Yeah, it looked like just trying to read Larry Poncino's lips. Timeout before the pitch. Somebody called timeout before the pitch. It may have been a request about a possible ball four, but for whatever reason, it looked like Gary Darling called timeout before that pitch was delivered, in which case Alfonso Soriano will get new life again with a full count.
If I have it right, when Soriano fouled off a couple of pitches, the count was 2-2, but the board said 3-2. Then when Springer threw ball 3, the Cub fans here in the ballpark thought it was ball 4 because that's what they put on the board. So you're right. New life for Soriano.
Tony La Russa did pass the bar exam back in 1979, trying to plead his case to the home plate umpire, but to no avail.
So another 3-2 pitch and another foul. Well, the umpire, a lot of times he'll hold his hands up and say 3-2. That's for the scoreboard operator to clearly see what the real count is. But they had it wrong for a couple of pitches. Another 3-2. That time, strike 3.
Good slider from Russ Springer. Starts it off the plate away, breaks it further out of the strike zone. Soriano has such great plate coverage. He can reach out across the plate and hook that ball back to left field, but that little bit of late movement away from him causes a swing and a miss.
By the way, back in May, when the Cardinals were in Milwaukee, Albert Pujols took a 3-ball walk. He was awarded first base, but it was actually ball 3, not ball 4, but nobody caught it. So it can happen from time to time. It's pretty rare.
It seems kind of odd that Albert Pujols would go to first base on a 3-ball count. He's the kind of guy that would probably try to stay at the plate as long as he could. Refused to go to first base on a ball 4 because he wants to swing the bat.
The 2-0 to Terrio. Ball 3. Now Dan Isonia gave him first base. It was 0-2 to start it, and then Jeff Suppan got it to 3-2. But it was called ball 4, and Suppan assumed that he had miscalculated the count, didn't think anything of it. There's ball 4 on Terrio. Yeah, usually when in doubt, we trust the scoreboard. But there was a little confusion all around.
No, that's because we're spoiled at Wrigley Field because they're never wrong.
Rick Fuse does a great job. And I know it sounds obvious to say, but we should say it, that the scoreboard's not the official count. It's the home plate umpire who has that official ball strike count. I mean, the board can say 3-0 and it's 0-2. All that matters is what the home plate umpire says.
Well, and Anybody out there listening who's gone to a Little League game where the parents run the scoreboard, that happens from time to time. They get the count completely backwards. I know, because I've tried to run a scoreboard before.
Terrio off and running, and Molina throws from his knees. Didn't really have a chance. Terrio with his 17th stolen base, and he's 1 out of 2 tonight. He was caught stealing in the 6th. So a chance now for an insurance run.
Now, Russ Springer throughout his career has had a bad habit of starting his hands before he picks up that front leg. I'm not sure if that's what Terrio saw, but he got a tremendous jump. Molina tries to throw from his knees just to make it a close play at second base, but Terrio had way too much of a jump.
On Lee. Make that 1-1.
His evening has gone on. Larry Poncino has gotten more and more casual with his strike calls behind the plate, and I think he's fooling the scoreboard operator here at Busch Stadium. He just kind of points out there a little bit with the right hand. Early in the ball game, he was really extending his right arm out to the side, and now he's just kind of waving that index finger over toward the first base dugout.
Basically, Derek Lee is still batting. We're not exactly sure what the count is.
He's got at least 1 strike left.
Yeah, we're going to go with 1 and 2.
Scoring 1 more run wouldn't hurt anything right here. D-Lee could find a hole in that infield or split the gap in the outfield.
Bottom of the 9th, Molina, Taguchi, Eckstein, all right-handed hitters against Brian Dempster.
That's where Ryan Terrio at second base. This is a 2-out, 2-strike count on the hitter. As soon as you see that batter start to swing the bat, you should be in motion. Because either he's going to swing and miss, he's going to put the ball in play and make an out, or he's going to get a base hit. But as soon as you see the batter start to swing, you should start to run at second base. That time, Terrio with a good break. D-Lee fouling it off to the first base side.
We have passed the 3-hour mark in this 3-2 ball game. A lot of deep counts tonight. It's 3-2. The go-ahead RBI belonging to Aramis Ramirez, and he's on deck. Looking for what would be his 5th game-winning RBI in July. Was tied for the league lead in that department with 4 coming in. And this long at bat continues. Terrio, the runner at second, 2 outs. Another 3-2 pitch to Derek Lee. Line of base hit into left. Terrio coming around. And the throw's going to go to second. So Derek Lee makes it 4-2. His 49th RBI and a little insurance here for the Cubs in the 9th. Oh, so great to have him back in the lineup.
Oh, it really is. A couple of good battles here in this inning. Ryan Terrio to work that 2-out walk, stole second base, and D. Lee with a battle of his own on that full count. Continued to foul off the tough ones, and Ryan Terrier with a great jump at second. Scores without a throw.
And Tony La Russa is going to make a pitching change. It's going to be Kelvin Jimenez coming in when we come back.
A shift has been made. Now power isn't sacrificed to achieve fuel efficiency. And cars that perform great on the road also perform great at the pump. Introducing the 36-mile-per-gallon Nissan Versa, 36-mile-per-gallon Sentra, 35-mile-per-gallon Altima. 3 powerful Nissan sedans with 35 miles per gallon or higher. Lease the 2007 Nissan Altima for $229 per month. Now, when you think power and fuel efficiency, think Nissan.
What it wants. Always ask for Pennzoil. Get a 5-quart jug of Pennzoil high mileage vehicle motor oil at Walmart for only $12.22.
Introducing the Cadillac Summer Event. Right now at your Cadillac dealer, you can experience the best Cadillac has to offer and 0% APR financing across all models. The best part about summer? It's here.
Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Now our Nissan drive of the game. Aramis Ramirez ripping one in the left, scoring Ryan Terrier with an unearned run, making it 3-2 as the Cubs took their second lead of the game in the 7th. They've added one here in the 9th, making it 4-2, and Kelvin Jimenez is now pitching for St. Louis. He'll face Ramirez with Lee at first and 2 outs.
Jimenez pitching in his 21st ball game, hasn't missed a lot of bats this year. The league hitting well over 300 against him.
Got called up from AAA Memphis prior to Sunday night's game in Atlanta. So not the first time he's been with the Cardinals this year. Another base hit. Ramirez this time with his 4th of the evening, all singles. Bob Howery's spot due up. It'll be Mike Fontenot.
Good to see Rami have a big night after fouling that ball off his foot back in his first at bat of this ball game. We didn't even know if he was going to be able to stay in. Turns it into a 4-hit night.
If you just joined us, Mark DeRosa had to leave in the 3rd inning with left hamstring tendonitis, as Miles will spin and throw to Pujols in time. Jimenez throws 2 pitches, gives up a single, but then gets out of the inning on the ground ball out by Fontenot. Ryan Dempster coming on to pick up the save. It's 4-2.
You've always loved the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquos liquid crystal television from Sharp.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, asking you to help cheer up kids in hospitals.
When children suffer from serious medical conditions, Rhino Kid Care, supported by Ryan Sandberg and National City, helps them and their families cope. Join the cause.
Wake up to rivalry and wake up to McDonald's. Get any 2 biscuit sandwiches for just $3. StubHub!
Where should we sit?
Right at first base.
Wait, how about along the third baseline?
Wow, this is great. Just like having season tickets.
Looking for great seats? Buy tickets from other fans. Have extra tickets? Sell them to other fans. Go to StubHub.com today for tickets to the hottest sports, concert, and theater events, even if they're sold out.
Peanuts.
Hey, there's still tickets right behind home plate.
Peanuts.
Let's go for it. StubHub, your choice, your ticket, your experience.
StubHub.
Now the Cubs-Felco upcoming schedule. We're back on Comcast Sportsnet Thursday night for the final game of this series, and Friday night, Saturday night from Cincinnati. We're on Plus Friday and Comcast Sportsnet Saturday. And Ryan Dempster trying to pick up what would be his first save since June 19th. Just a few days before he went on the disabled list. That was in Texas. And he'll face Yadier Molina to start the bottom of the ninth.
Well, and that guy is 5 spots away. Albert Pujols hitting in the 3 spot. This is the number 8 hitter, Yadier Molina, at the plate. We will see a pinch hitter in that 2 spot. Should we get that far?
Molina hitless in 3 trips. Make it 1 for 4. Hit number 7 for the Cards. Here comes So Taguchi, and there'll be a pinch runner for Molina. Brendan Ryan. Ryan, a backup infielder. Slider strike.
At first base, the pinch runner for Yadier Molina, does have a 30 stolen base season to his credit in the minor leagues when he was playing in Peoria in 04, back when they were a Cardinals affiliate.
That's Ryan Ludwig on deck. He has 3 pinch hit home runs. And you know who would be after him. Low ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's been a tight and entertaining ball game tonight, as it always is when the Cubs and Cardinals hook up. Ryan runs, and it's sliced foul. Well, even though Ryan's run doesn't mean anything, Tony La Russa has been trying to stay out of the double play and hasn't been afraid to send him here in this inning. A couple of good contact hitters at the plate, especially Eckstein. And a quick check on Ryan. So Ryan, Dempster checks on Brendan Ryan. One, 2 to Eckstein. Even up 2-2.
Well, you'd like to see the ground ball double play to end this ball game. Eckstein does not ground into very many, though. Only 4 this season. Only 7 all of last year in 500 at bats.
Ryan runs again and pulled foul past Oquendo.
Get your road work in. That's about the 5th time Ryan has broken for second base, and one of his teammates has fouled the ball out of play.
This is a big outing for Ryan Dempster. First save opportunity in more than a month. Ground ball to second. Brendan Ryan had to jump over the ball as he was on the move. Eckstein thrown out. 2 away in the ninth. Ryan Ludwig coming up. Pujols on deck.
Once again, Brendan Ryan in motion as the pitch is delivered. Nice job by the Cubs infielders to hold their positions that time. Neither one of them broke for second base immediately when Ryan was stealing the bag. Much more important to field your position defensively, take the sure out. You run over there to cover second base and leave a hole in the right side. Cardinals are looking at a first and third situation with 1 out right now.
Dempster will go right at Ludwig, who's done a terrific job off their bench. Bounced foul.
So we talk about swing pitches in an at bat, swinging the advantage either to the pitcher or the hitter. That's a huge swing pitch right there for Ryan Dempster. Threw a breaking ball first pitch to a home run pinch hitter, got him to foul it out of play, put himself in the hole right away.
0-2. Well, seeing a lot of empty red seats, but the Cub fans have remained. Dempster 1 strike away. The 0-2. Base hit into left. Oquendo's going to stop him. Now he's going to send Ryan, as Soriano bobbled it. There might be an error on the play. If so, it would be Soriano's 4th error in a little over a week.
Well, it came on a breaking ball that Dempster left over the inside part of the plate, and Soriano just kind of got himself in a tough position there, kind of handcuffed himself. Oquendo clearly holding up Ryan at third base. When the ball gets away, he waves him on home.
A single and an error, no RBI, but the key there is that they kept Ludwig at first base. Here's Pujols. It's 4-3 Cubs, and I'm sure a few people who were headed for the exits have turned around or have stopped. Swing and a miss at a slider. Strike 1. Down to a 1-run game. (4-3) Cubs. 2 hits in the inning by the Cardinals. The next pitch. Inside on a fastball.
6 for 21 lifetime with a home run. The home run came in his last at bat against Ryan Dempster.
Pretty much the entire audience on its feet. There's a bouncer to second base. Terrio to Lee, and the Cubs win. It's even a little sweeter when you retire Pujols to end it. Albert Pujols tonight went 0 for 5, and Ryan Dempster gets his first save since coming off the DL. Number 17 on the year. Carlos Zambrano, the first National League pitcher to 13 wins. And Kip Wells with a Major League leading 13th loss. And the Cubs are now 3-0 in St. Louis here in 2007. Oh, just another 1-run win.
Always good to win that first game of the series. Now you feel like all you have to do is split the last 2 to have a successful trip here into St. Louis. But yeah, the way the Cubs are playing, I think they're going to get greedy. They'd like to sweep this series and move on to Cincinnati.
So the game-winning RBI belonging to guess who? Aramis Ramirez with a single in the 7th. It was an unearned run, and the Cubs beat the Cardinals tonight 4-3. So that'll do it for our game coverage. Stay tuned for post-game live. Once again, the final score tonight: the Cubs 4, the Cardinals 3. Our next Cubs telecast on Comcast Sportsnet Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, as we close out this series here in St. Louis. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob Brenly and our entire crew, this is Len Casper. You've been watching Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Good night.
Wow, what a game, D-Lee. That huge insurance run in the top of the 9th inning.
Got it all the way.
Mark Shinowski, Pat Boyle back in our downtown Chicago studios. Gail Fisher and Dan Plezak's actually singing. He's in a great mood.
He's singing. It's great.
They're ready to break down tonight's big win over the Cardinals on Cubs Postgame Live next.
Go Cubs goes even on key.
Yeah,
7th inning stretch duty could be in his future. Stick around afterwards for Land Rover Sports Night. Coming up on that show, we are down in Peoria. Kerry Wood continuing his rehab tonight. You'll hear how Kid K evaluated his 1 inning of relief.
And Peanut Tillman signs an extension with the Bears just a couple days before training camp. We'll have all the numbers.
Plus, NBA Commissioner David Stern addresses the gambling situation involving former league referee Tim Donaghy.
Plus highlights. Game 2 between the White Sox and Tigers. The Southsiders come storming back in that one. That a whole lot more coming up on Cubs Postgame Live, which comes your way after the break.
The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA offers a variety of options, including the Red Line, which stops right at Wrigley Field at the Addison Station. If you must drive, try the remote parking operation at DeVry University. Located near the Addison and Rockwell intersection, the remote lot offers parking and an express bus for just $6. For another option, try riding your bike. The Cubs provide a free bike check at the car wash at Clark and Waveland. For more details, call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000 or visit Cubs.com.
Tonight, do the mojito with the refreshingly cool taste of the Bacardi Mojito.
You've always loved the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquas liquid crystal television from Sharp.
We love baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Stolen bases, goat cheese, pizza, bottled water, and Chevrolet. They go together in the good old USA. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Get a 2007 Chevy Cobalt LS sedan starting at $13,640 after cash back. That's an 07 Cobalt sedan LS starting at $13,640 after cash back.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police. Bacardi Rum, if you're going to drink, be responsible. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Pontiac, 9 performance machines, all designed for action.
On its feet. There's a bouncer to second base. Terrio to Lee, and the Cubs win.
Oh, just a typical one-run ball game that the Cubs win in St. Louis. What a great game. 4-3 is your final from Busch Stadium. The Cubs hanging on. Carlos Zambrano getting the W, his 13th victory of the season. Hello and welcome to Cubs Postgame Live alongside the lefty Dan Plesac. I'm Gail Fisher, and Dan, you're awfully excited. We're singing Go Cubs Go.
No, you were.
You were. The Cubs with a big victory. Obviously, they're on a roll. St. Louis isn't the St. Louis of last year winning the World Series team, but this is a very critical series for the Cubs, being that it is in the Central Division.
Whatever slim hopes that the Cardinals had of getting back into this race really rested on these 3 games. And I think if the Cubs can take 2 out of 3 here in St. Louis, you could pretty much throw out the Cardinals for the rest of the season. They look a big blow to their pitching staff. Chris Carpenter is going to have season-ending surgery, so it really looks like a 2-horse race right now with the Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. And this isn't going to be easy because this Brewer team is a very good team. They're kind of, with Ben Sheets out right now, they're a little bit vulnerable, but I don't expect the Brewers to go and run away and hide and let the Cubs easily pass them. This is going to be a dogfight in every game, every series. The rest of the season now is going to be very important for this Cub team.
And the Cubs with a couple of key components back to start this series. Derek Lee back in the lineup after serving that 5-game suspension. Also, Ryan Dempster back in the closer role after being activated from the disabled list. Both of those guys playing key roles in this victory tonight. But the 6th and 7th inning, we want to go back and take a look because this was the key to the ball game for the Cubs, getting something going. Ryan Theriot is going to get on. Now, he's awfully aggressive, and that's what the Cubs want him to be. Unfortunately, in this situation, though, Danny gets thrown out at second. But the Cubs keep this rally alive as Derek Lee is going to come through here.
Well, one of the things that this team has done the last 4 weeks to start playing good baseball, here you see a big 1-out base hit by Derek Lee. And one of the things they've done a very good job of, they're not knocking the ball out of the ballpark. Here you see Aramis Ramirez just kind of hits it in the right spot, right beyond first base, right in back of Albert Pujols. And they're getting clutch hits. They're getting the big hits. Here was a tremendous play by Albert Pujols, really underrated as far as the defensive first baseman. He has made himself a really good player. Ronnie Cedeno just up from AAA. Big 2-out base hit, and that's such a key, particularly in tight games. It's not necessarily, Gail, how many hits you get. It's you get the big hits at the right time, and 2-out base hits really break the backbone of opposing teams.
So Ronnie Cedeno, as I mentioned, getting the call up, comes up big with the RBI in that inning to tie the game. Unfortunately, the Cubs left the bases loaded, so they couldn't take the lead. But in the 7th inning, here they come, and they take the lead. Scott Rowland with a rare error by him allows the base runner here, and the Cubs are going to take advantage.
This is almost like deja vu. This happened last September in a really close game that Scott Rowland made a very unlike Scott Rowland type play that really led to a big inning for the Cubs in a game that was meaningless for the Cubs at that time. And then the guy, Aramis Ramirez right now is as good as any hitter in the National League in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. This is a really good pitch, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside corner, but he does what all really good RBI guys do. They're able to put the bat on the ball with runners in scoring position, and this guy does it as well as anybody in either league. He's a really, really tough out in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning against good pitching. He finds a way to put the ball in play.
He's an RBI machine. Now the Cubs getting an insurance run in the top of the 9th inning. Derek Lee driving in Ryan Theriot, who happened to steal second base successfully in that inning. So as you mentioned, the small hits, the small ball, manufacturing these runs, really important. And that proved critical to the Cubs because Ryan Dempster having a little bit of trouble in the bottom of that 9th inning. Overall, the Cubs doing a great job with that bullpen. It was almost textbook bullpen relief for the Cubs tonight, bringing in the specialist lefty Will Oman. Then you bring in Carlos Marmol. Then you've got Bob Howry, your setup guy in the 8th, Ryan Dempster to close it out in the 9th.
You know, Lou Piniella right now has the makings of having a very good bullpen down the stretch. And I know Carlos Marmol has been a blessing. He has really brought some calm to this bullpen when the wheels were starting to fall off. And this guy is a dangerous, dangerous weapon to have in the bullpen. And what it allows Lou Piniella now, if Ryan Dempster continues to throw the ball like he did in the first half, he's going to take care of the 9th inning, and you have 2 really quality arms in Marmol and Howry to split that work in the 7th and 8th inning. Carlos Marmol may have gotten the biggest out of the game, was able to get Albert Pujols with 2 outs in a very dicey situation in the 7th inning. The Cub bullpen has been pitching really good.
And in the ninth inning, you know, you can't expect Ryan Dempster, who hasn't pitched for a couple of weeks, to come in a very critical situation and be...
Oh, you have to now.
Exactly sharp. So he did give up a couple of hits. The error, of course, by Alfonso Soriano allowed that run. Dempster gets out of it and gets the save, but it was one of those moments, boy, you hate to throw him into the fire, but you had to.
You have to, and this will be a better bullpen if Ryan Dempster is solidifying that ninth inning. He's had a really good first half of the season. Missed some time with that rib cage injury. If he's closing and pitching well in the ninth, it makes this bullpen awfully, awfully tough with Howry in the middle, Carlos Marmol in the middle. You have two quality arms that you can bring in. And not to mention, I think before it's all said and done, I think you're going to see Scott Air get himself right back in the mix. Because as this stretch goes towards the remaining part of this schedule, you're going to need two left-handers in that bullpen. Will Ullman has done a very good job, but they're going to need another one. And before it's all said and done, Scott Air is going to be back in this mix. I'm not saying that he's going to be the guy you're going to hand the ball to exclusively, but he's going to be asked to get some tough left-handed hitters out down the stretch, and he's got to step up and pitch well.
Boy, Dan, you're tough. You just throw Dempster in there. You think I'm tough? Just throw him into the fire, no easing him in, but he did the job.
You know what, if you look at the way this team played the first 2 months of the season in April and May, they have really thrown out any mulligans. They can't ill afford any 10-game stretches where they go 3-7 or 4-6. You can't assume that the Brewers are going to fade and go away. You have to count on, if you're the Cubs, that the Brewers are going to play good baseball. But if the Cubs take care of business and play like they have the last 3 weeks, they will catch the Brewers.
All right. Well, it turned out to be actually a pitching duel between the two starters as we take a look at our Felco pitching recap. Carlos Zambrano against Kip Wells. I have to tell you, this Kip Wells looked the best he's looked all season. Zambrano on top of his game once again, giving up just 5 hits and 2 earned runs. He picks up win number 13 on the season, the league's first 13-game winner.
What a transformation from April and May to what he has been able to do the last 6 or 7 weeks. He has been a completely different pitcher. And to pinpoint one thing, I would have to say that his arm angle is a lot higher than it was in April and May. He's getting back to being able to have good movement on his fastball, but I think getting his arm angle back up, it enables him to have that real good, crisp breaking ball. In the first 2 months of the season, you very infrequently did you see right-handed hitters swing and miss at his breaking ball. You're seeing it a lot now. That tells you that the rotation on his breaking pitch is tight, and it's tough for hitters to pick up what pitch it is. It's a hard-cutting slider, and when you're throwing the well like he is right now, it's very difficult for the hitter to distinguish what it is till you start to commit the swing.
Well, a very well-earned victory for Carlos Zambrano as the Cubs beat St. Louis 4-3. We have to take a break. As we go to break, let's check out our Pontiac Opinion Poll question of the night. Will Carlos Zambrano win 20 games this season? He's at 13 right now. Yes or no? Go to ComcastSportsNet.com, give us your vote, and we'll have the results later in the show. Now, before we go to break, here are the National City NL Central standings. The Cubs just 3 games behind the Brewers in the Central. The Brew Crew did win tonight, so the pressure is still on the Cubs to take care of their business. Don't go away. Dan and I will talk more on Cubs Postgame Live right after this.
For every Cubs victory this season, National City is proud to make a donation to Rhino Kid Care. Please visit rhinokidcare.com.
It takes a certain kind of person to appreciate this level of performance and technology. We like to call them Type A's. Don't miss the Acura chance to advance sales opportunity. Acura. Advance.
Take advantage of attractive financing on all Acura models for well-qualified customers.
With every step, it gets better. Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered 4 times for smoother flavor.
SAP has solutions for mid-sized companies? I'm gonna need some time to come to terms with this whole thing. Okay, I'm good.
Believe it or not, I struggled with car buying issues until my friend showed me this book. Every page is filled with helpful car advice.
It helped me get a great deal on the highest safety-rated minivan ever built, the Kia Sedona.
with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty program.
Because the more you know, the less you don't know.
Now with 2.9% APR plus 500 bonus cash plus 1,000 competitive bonus.
Okay, you're all set. Your on-demand is easy to operate. Choose from movies, specials, anything really, and whenever you want. You wonder how you ever survived without it.
Nothing gives you more entertainment than Stars on Demand. Choose from an enormous library of movies that all start at the touch of a button by adding digital cable with Stars and Digital Plus for only $14.95 a month for the next 12 months. Call 1-800-CABLE-TV today.
Do you want to talk to me?
Then you'd better pay attention.
Because I may be the one you're looking for.
You know, the one who's interested in buying what you have to sell.
And chances are, you'll only find me with cable because more people like me are watching the channels that mean something to them.
They don't find that with broadcast.
And you may not find me with broadcast.
Get it. With cable.
Want better value, precision, and results from your advertising? Call On Media today.
Wells, 14.54 ERA in the last week. Not so good. Cubs were pretty hot tonight, though, as they beat the Cardinals 4-3, the final from Busch. Taking a look at the lineup, a couple of notables. Soriano, about the only guy who had a really rough night. Otherwise, everyone else getting it done. Aramis Ramirez, 4 for 5 on the night. Jock Jones got on base 3 times. And Ronnie Cedeno just called up from AAA, getting a crucial RBI in this game. One other note, Mark DeRosa had to leave the game early with tendonitis in his hamstring. Derek Lee coming off of his 5-game suspension, Dan, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Took him a couple of at-bats to get heated up, but he finally came through and really came up big in that 9th inning to bring in that insurance run for the Cubs.
I think Derek Lee is, you're talking about a team right now that has 3 premier players on its roster, and Alfonso Soriano, Derek Lee, and Aramis Ramirez. And there aren't a lot of teams in the National League that could say that. And they desperately needed his bat in that Arizona series. They were able to get away with it game 1 of the series. And you go back to that Arizona series, of the 3 games, you figured that the Friday game against Brandon Webb was one that they were going to have a difficult time. They were able to get to Webb, but they're going to be a real good team down the stretch if Derek Lee keeps producing. And you know, I know his home run production has been down, but he's capable of getting hot. And I'm telling you, this guy can hit 8 or 9 home runs in a 2-week span. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's very capable. This is a really good player.
The Cubs just 3-2 when Derek Lee was out serving that suspension, but he's back now and doing well. Time now to check out our Pontiac Opinion poll question once again before we go to break. Will Carlos Zambrano win 20 games this season? He's at 13 thanks to the victory tonight. Yes or no? Go to ComcastSportsNet.com, click on Chicago, give us your vote, and we'll have the results later in the show. And as we go to break, let's take a look at the StubHub upcoming schedule for the Cubs. They have 2 more games remaining against the Cardinals before heading to Cincinnati to battle the Reds over the weekend.
The upcoming schedule is brought to you by StubHub, where fans buy and sell tickets.
A shift has been made. Now power isn't sacrificed to achieve fuel efficiency. And cars that perform great on the road also perform great at the pump. Introducing the 36-mile-per-gallon Nissan Versa, 36-mile-per-gallon Sentra, 35-mile-per-gallon Altima. 3 powerful Nissan sedans with 35 miles per gallon or higher. All with 0.7% APR financing. Now, when you think power and fuel efficiency, think Nissan.
StubHub!
Where should we sit? Right at first base. Wait, how about along the third baseline? Wow, this is great. Just like having season tickets.
Looking for great seats? Buy tickets from other fans. Have extra tickets? Sell them to other fans. Go to StubHub.com today for tickets to the hottest sports, concert, and theater events, even if they're sold out.
Peanuts.
Hey, there's still tickets right behind home plate.
Let's go for it. StubHub, your choice, your ticket, your experience.
StubHub.
How about Catch 35, where Chicago meets the ocean shore?
Catch 35, Chicago's premier seafood and premium steak restaurant, now has 2 fantastic locations. Downtown Chicago at 35 West Wacker, in the heart of the exciting theater district, and at 35 South Washington in beautiful Naperville. So how about Catch 35?
One half-ton pickup has the best warranty of any other, the best fuel economy of any other, not to mention the highest possible front crash test rating. Makes you wonder why you'd want any other truck. The all-new redesigned GMC Sierra.
It's the GMC Summer Sell-Down on a great selection of 07 models. Right now, get 0% APR or $2,000 total cash back when you purchase an all-new 07 Sierra 1500 Extended or Crew Cab. For more information, visit gmcdrive.com.
Welcome back. Here's a look at our Geico quote of the day. It's from Craig Biggio, who is retiring at the end of the season after 20 years in the majors. He said, quote, "I get to go out on top. The 3,000th hit night was the best. I'll never forget that." Biggio said in a news conference on Tuesday, "I'm in a good place. I think I've done everything I could on a baseball field." All right, and let's check out our Pontiac Opinion poll question of the night. Earlier in the show, we asked you, will Carlos Zambrano win 20 games this season? He's already at 13 thanks to the victory tonight, and 77% of you say yes, he will. At the pace he's at now, I do believe Big Z will get there, and I know, Dan, you do too.
I do too. There's no question about that. And I have a sign to prove it. Yes, I'm voting yes. Carlos, yes for 20.
No doubt about it. All right. Carlos Zambrano getting the victory tonight. As for tomorrow's matchup at Busch Stadium, it will be Ted Lilly against Adam Wainwright. Lilly has won his last 5 outings, giving up just 10 earned runs in that span, so averaging maybe 2 earnings per game. He's gotten a lot of support, Dan, and he's been pitching well.
He's been pitching well. I know a lot of questions going into the season. The 2 free agents, Lilly and Marquis, signed big contracts, but those contracts look awfully good right now. He has been terrific. He's kept the Cubs in just about every start. He goes deep into the games, and it won't be easy because Adam Wainwright is throwing the ball very well. Don't let the record and earned run average deceive you. Converted relief pitcher, was really the postseason hero last year, closing games out for the Cardinals in the World Series and the playoffs. A good young pitcher, learning on the job to be a starting pitcher. Not an easy assignment for the Cubs tomorrow.
All right, big victory though tonight, 4-3, the final from Busch Stadium. Dan will be back on Thursday when the Cubs hit Comcast Sportsnet again. For Dan Plesac and the rest of our crew, I'm Gail Fisher. Thanks for watching. Sports Night is coming up next with Pat Boyle and Mark Schanowski. We'll see you next time.
Feldco is offering free installation. Call for a free estimate.
Hurry, this offer ends soon.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Free installation at Feldco can save you hundreds, even thousands. Call now.
Call 866 for FEL. DCO.
It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year. Feldco is offering free installation. Save thousands on replacement windows with no interest or payments till next year. Call for a free estimate and free installation.
Hurry, this offer ends July 31st.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, asking you to help cheer up kids in hospitals.
When children suffer from serious medical conditions, Rhino Kid Care, supported by Ryan Sandberg and National City, helps them and their families cope. Join the cause.
Try Arby's new popcorn chicken shakers, made with 100% natural all-white meat chicken. Add as much or as little buffalo or barbecue sauce as you'd like, then just shake it up. So good, they'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Seriously, 4 feet by 5 feet. Well, apparently not, because I'm looking right at it.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Are you serious?
Just give it a try. Role play.
What's your name? He doesn't say anything because he's a doll.
Geico.com. So easy, a caveman can do it.
Believe it or not, I struggled with car buying issues until my friend showed me this book. Every page is filled with helpful car advice.
It helped me get a great deal on the highest safety-rated minivan ever built, the Kia Sedona, with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty program.
Because the more you know, the less you don't know.
Now with 2.9% APR plus 500 bonus cash plus 1,000 competitive bonus.
Four Seasons, the largest family-owned and operated heating and air conditioning contractor, has simple goals: provide exceptional service at the best possible price and offer products that leave you nothing but satisfied. Call Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Kerry Wood of the Chicago Cubs, and you're watching Comcast Sportsnet.
Coming up on Sports Night.
A 12-game winner versus a 12-game loser. Can Big Z get the Cubs back on the winning side of things? Plus, Kerry Wood is pitching again, but how soon will he be back on the north side?
He's doing what he's been doing for about a month.
Vasquez mowed down the Tigers in Game 1, but can Gavin Floyd follow suit in Game 2 from the south side?
I think it means that all of our hard work has paid off.
Plus, the Bears give one of their defenders a long-term deal, but it's not Lance Briggs. Watch out! I'm a meringue. Sports Night starts now.
This is Sports Night, presented by Land Rover. Live from the Comcast Sportsnet studios in downtown Chicago.
Hi there, thanks for staying with us on Comcast Sportsnet tonight. Welcome to Land Rover Sports Night with Mark Shanowski. I am Pat Bull. A hectic day and night in Chicago sports. Sox try and take 2 from the first-place Tigers, while the Bears use a cover 2 scheme, signing their corners.
And tonight we start with the Cubs, who recalled shortstop Ronnie Cedeno from AAA Iowa for the series opener in St. Louis. Now, our producer Doug Brown knows this because he follows the minor league sports. Cedeno was leading the Pacific Coast League with a .360 batting average. That's why they called him back up. Cubs and Cardinals from Busch Stadium. Derek Lee returning to the lineup after serving that 5-game suspension. Top of the first inning, maybe a little anxious, swinging at the first pitch from Kip Wells, the former White Sox right-hander. Lee flies out to Skip Schumacher in right field. Cubs retired in order in the first. Top of the second, 2 outs. Jock Jones singles to right center. Cliff Floyd comes around to score from second, and the visitors get out.